Grace and peace, everyone. Grace and peace to you all. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, so you know what we're about to do. Let's get at it. Hopefully, you all had a beautiful Sunday, a wonderful Lord's Day. I got a lot of good stuff done. I'm so happy. When I get stuff done, man, I feel so good and accomplished. My goodness, in the morning. So to end it with hanging out with you all is just an extra added cherry on top to a very productive, very successful day. Started the day off with worshiping the Lord with my family. Got to see my mom. Always glad to see her hanging out. We did family luncheon at church, and then we went and then I went and got some chairs for my studio, and I'll show you that. Matter of fact, if you follow me on my channel, you saw the upload in the community post. Some new chairs for my side studio. It's really coming together well, so I appreciate y'all so much. But before I don't want to get too far afield. I'll talk about that a little later for sure. I definitely appreciate all of y'all. Thank you so much. We're in June. I can't believe it now. We're at the proverbial halfway point of the year. Y'all, 2024 has been the longest 9 years of ever. I'm sorry, there's so much stuff has happened so far in this year. I'm actually looking with like trepidation toward the rest of the year. Like, what in the world else could happen? So I appreciate y'all. We're going to talk about that today. I want to thank you. Last month, you guys really came through and supported a lot of that Fonnie Willis content that I've put out, which is a lot of content. Let's just be honest. So there is a playlist on my channel if you're interested in just kind of catching up on some of the stuff we've said about Fonnie, whether it be shorts or live streams or mic drop moments or just outright videos. Check them out. There's a playlist called Fonnie Willis on my channel. I really do appreciate you. And I kind of talked about it, I kind of alluded to it, but I really want to thank y'all so much for last month. The month of May was super productive here on Dear Woke Christian. Lots of stuff got done. Y'all, like I just said a second ago, I love when I get stuff done. And boy, oh boy, did we get a lot of stuff done last month. So I set the goal last month, a quiet goal of I wanted to hit 500,000 views on all my videos last month. And I got really close. 403 is not anything to shy away from. So I appreciate y'all because y'all found interest in what I was doing. So that told me that what I'm doing is stuff that you all want to see more of, or at least want to continue to engage with that type of content. So this month, the month of June, I'm really going to iron out my content. I'm going to try my best to get so much better at giving you all valuable content that you all want to engage in, you all want to watch. Oh, and by the way, my watch time was out of this world. It was in a whole nother stratosphere. So not only that you watch it and click on it and get a view, but you actually engage with the content. So that's what I'm looking at and focusing on this month of June, because in July, I'm planning on ramping up all of my productivity to another level. I'm going to start the month of July off at a podcast summit here in Atlanta, of all places, right? So that's going to be super fun. I'm planning on meeting I'm trying to rub shoulders with everybody possible. So if you follow me as a member on the channel, I'm going to be doing a lot of live streams from that podcast event called Podcast Summit. And I'm really planning on hopefully introducing you all to a lot of the people that I've been following, a lot of people that I've been gleaning from, and so on and so forth. So you'll see that on my Dear Woke Christian podcast channel, as well as my business channel, which is Podium Studios. And I do admit I've not been the best at uploading information and content to those two channels. That's part of my June goal, is to put up more content on Podium Studios and Dear Woke Christian Podcast. So check those out. I appreciate you all. Tons of you all have subscribed to them. So now I need to reward you all with some good quality content. So I'll be doing some fun things over there that are not germane to this channel. So it'll be different things. So you'll see a lot of man on the street. You'll see a whole lot of me out and about, all that kind of stuff like that. The Whitaker Talk Show might show up every now and then. You won't be surprised. Don't be surprised, rather, if they show up. Now, I am going to be doing a lot more members only Q&As, because I would love to hear what you all think and get some feedback from you all, because it does help guide where we go with the channel. So I really do appreciate that. So if you're not a member of the channel, consider becoming a member. It's about as much as a cup of coffee a month, and it gives me an opportunity to whittle down and get down with some of you all and hear what you're thinking. What are your thoughts? So on and so forth. We do have a Discord. Lots of them chime in on the Discord, because I'll show things like different t-shirts I'm planning on dropping on the channel, different thumbnails that I'm considering, of course, and of course, different videos are going to be popping up as well. So those members that are supporting me in the members channel, they get first dibs. They give insight and input and such like that. And it gives us a good chance to kind of build that community. So, something to consider. I appreciate it. Now, we got to get at it, people. We got a lot to talk about today because the end of May did not go out. No, it's February. It comes in like a lion, goes out like a lamb, or in like a lamb, out like a lion. May came in like a freight train and left like a nuclear sub on fire. It was crazy. Like, there's no way to describe some of the shenanigans that have happened in this month. So I think the only thing that makes sense for us to do is to attempt to make sense of it. So let's go.
Welcome back to Season 3 of As the Peach Rots. In this engrossing third season, we marinate the fetor of Georgia's political elite in the tangy vinegar of accountability. In a state where the odor of mendacity lingers in the air, our intrepid team of chat room investigators is on a mission to peel back the layers of deceit and uncover the truth. From backroom deals to embezzlement scandals, no stone is left unturned in our pursuit of justice. But as tensions rise and alliances shift, who can be trusted in the Peach State? Join us for a season ripe with drama, where even the fruit isn't safe from corruption, because sometimes the juiciest scandals are right under your nose.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Last month, we had the great opportunity to meet Amanda Timpson. And Amanda Timpson, who's Amanda Timpson, Jason? I appreciate you asking. Thank you for asking that. Amanda Timpson is the whistleblower for the infamous Fulton County DA case. And she was bold and she was clear and she was concise to share what was her experience with working with Fani Willis in the DA's office in Fulton County. And not only that, but she also was willing to, and very clear, explaining that, bringing her receipts. I know we talked about that a lot. She had that big, huge binder. When I interviewed her, we talked about the cookbook because Chef Mario was cooking from the cookbook, right? And so one of the things she talked about, that she mentioned that she recorded her initial conversation with Fani Willis when she went to share with Fani Willis, that she didn't think that Fani was aware that Mr. Cuffey was wanting to use grant monies for the wrong things. Okay. And she recorded that. And so later on, when it came out, the Fani said, well, you never told me this, and the other. She's like, well, I got a tape right here. I got the file. So what I want to do is I want to listen to it today. It's not super long. And this is the one that's available online. So hopefully everybody will have a chance to kind of glean from it and get something out of it. And so let's go check it out. I think this will be interesting. It's like I said, it's not super long, but I think it's lots of important. Let's go.
If you had to give me a sentence, what is the sentence theme?
Once I told him about his, respectfully and in an email, about his lack of leadership and the fact that he wanted to do things with grants that were impossible. And I kept telling him, like, we can't do that, and questioning stuff. He would take me off projects, tell people I wasn't doing what I was supposed to because I questioned him. Because I understood, I helped write that grant. I knew what was in that grant. He told everybody in front of Crystal, Deontay, everybody, we're going to get MacBooks, we're going to do that, we're going to get swag, we're going to use it for travel. I said, you cannot do that. It's a very, very specific grant. Took me off. I questioned Junior DA. There's kids in there from out of the county, all this. Took me off Junior DA. I did not want to do it. He made it look as if I wasn't doing what I needed to do because I questioned him. Because I knew for a fact Mr. Cuffey respectfully did not know what he was doing, period.
So I respect that is your assessment. It was clear to me that you and Mr. Cuffey were not getting along. And I'm not saying that your assessment is wrong. I want you to really listen to the words I'm saying.
Cuffey, and this is my personal opinion, to one woman to another, is dangerous to your administration. He tells people, when I reached out to you, he told me, you think your word is safe? Exactly when you reached out to Miss Willis, she called me and told me, she tell me everything. So once you reach out to her, she's going to reach back out to me. So I didn't even go to HR, and he put Dexter's name on my PDP, and I didn't even feel safe going to anybody.
Can I tell you something?
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 supervisors that have failed in this building. What's interesting to me, because I'm in a learning curve too, they each pretend to have a relationship with me that they do not have. I guess that's an intimidation tactic. I'm sorry that you felt that way, but you, Dexter certainly don't have no relationship with
Right.
Michael Cuffey. You were safe to go those places.
All right, so that is the clip from there, and boy, does that not just bolster Amanda's story that she gave during the Senate hearing, that Chef Mario gave when he was on Judge Joe Brown, and I've heard it many other times and elsewhere. Professor Nez in the Exiles channel, Dwayne in the Exile channel, and so forth. She's been so consistent in telling this story. There's only one way to look at this, and that she's telling the truth. So, man, hopefully you all had a chance to see Amanda's interview. If you did not, I hope that you will get an opportunity to check it out. It's on my channel. I appreciate the moderators dropping it in the chat for people to check out, because I think it's super helpful, and I think you'll get a lot from it, and it'll give you like just a better observation, a full-orbed observation of what's going on and how this case is unfolding. Now, I'll give my 2 cents about what I think is going to actually happen in the actual story, what I think is actually going to happen in the case. And I have an opinion pertaining to it now. And I think I have a better opinion than I've had in the past. Because what was that, last Tuesday was the election, the primary here in Georgia? I think it was, yeah, last Tuesday. So since last Tuesday, I have a much more robust understanding of what's going to happen and why I think what's going to happen in November is pretty clear. But we can talk about that later on. I am leaving. I did drop the link if you would like to come onto the show. You want to talk later on? I dropped it in there. All I ask is that your camera be on. Got to see your smiling face. If you brush them, you got to show them. So you got to make sure you show your face. I do want to keep the conversation above tears. So we can keep that language always in a proper way and keep all that, any profanities, all that kind of stuff like that. We don't want to bring those over here. And then very lastly, have yourself a beverage of choice. We want to talk about what you're drinking. Talk about what you're drinking. Tonight's choice is iced coffee right here. I got a tanker of water on the side and another one right here, just in case things go into extra innings. But I'd love to hear what you all are thinking. I'll open up the lines and have y'all come on a little bit later. But just want to let you know that's available. It's pinned up there to the top. Now, I think this whole Amanda Timpson story is not only extremely just like mesmerizing to see just how corrupt Fulton County is and such like that, but I do think it is a very good bellwether, a very good litmus test, a very good indicator of what Fulton County is going to do. I don't think, in my opinion, I don't believe that Fulton County is going to jettison Fani Willis. Now, there's a couple of reasons why. I'm sad to say I don't see enough, nor do I hear enough stirring and rumbling to cause me to believe that Fani Willis is going to be unseated. So I don't believe that. But then also, I think it's going to be a good indicator that y'all want this. And we've talked about this. We'll talk about this when we talk about like Tiffany Henyard up in Dalton and the DA up in Maryland that was wilding out, that just recently got thrown in jail. Got kicked out of office. Of course, everything going on in New York. We'll talk about that in a moment as well. But the people there actually want that. And that's something I think we as normal people, if you will, have to come to grips with. There are people who want corruption. They want corruption. They do. They really do want corruption. It perfectly makes sense to them. It makes perfect sense to them. It does not cause them any consternation internally because their consciences are seared. They don't care that there are 200 people in Fulton County Jail that's overcrowded with bed bugs and other kind of unsafe situations, and those people haven't been indicted. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care that there's gangs running free and loose in Fulton County and monies that are being spent in order to subvert that gang situation is being directed in other directions. They don't care. They don't care. And we'll see that in November. I hate to say it. They don't care. So one of the things we have to become comfortable with is that, you know what? These people don't care. These people don't really want different. You and I want different. We expect different. We believe that there should be something different because we actually probably are abiding by the same moral compass that wickedness should not be promoted and that good should not be punished. We believe that. The problem is that people in Fulton County don't believe that. If they did, they would have thrown Fani Willis out on her ear a long time ago. We wouldn't even be having this conversation. Now, granted, sure, we can have that conversation. She's elected, and they had Christian Y. Smith, and he really wasn't the best candidate. And you know what? I think you probably can make a case for that. You can make a case for that. You can make a case for what you think about Courtney Kramer. I have an opinion concerning that situation, but at the end of the day, the people of Fulton County are not wanting something different. They want this type of leader. This is a representative government, and it represents the people. And sad to say, it represents the wicked, evil hearts of the people that vote for her. And if it were something different, then we'll see something different. But that's the kind of people that are there in Fulton County. And these are the people that they want to be their DA, their chief law enforcement officer. When your chief law enforcement officer is lawless, what does that say about you? What does that say about you? And y'all are not rioting about it. Like now, if y'all just woke up one morning and said, hey, hold on, our chief law enforcement officer is a lawless woman. She's lawless. You know what? We need to do something about that. We need to do a ballot. Start a petition to recall her. We're out here protesting, get rid of her. Y'all are not doing that. Fulton County wants this. This is what they want. I hate to say it. It's sad to say. It's sobering to say. But Fulton County doesn't want anything different. If they did, they would be seeking and going after something different, but they don't. Now, sure, there are some good people in Fulton County that are not. They do want the righteous outcome. They want good leadership, and I'm not fronting on them. What I am saying, however, is the overall tenor of Fulton County, Georgia, is that Fani Willis is A-OK. I mean, and hear me. I want something different to happen out there. I want something else to in there, but I'm just going to be honest with you. There's no other way around it. Fulton County wants this, and the people have no problem with it. People are not looking for, desiring, or seeking somebody different to represent them as a chief law enforcement officer. So it doesn't matter if the sheriff is corrupt, they just keep electing them. If the DA is corrupt, they just keep electing them. City council, the Fulton County Commission is a scam, but guess what? They keep electing them. And so they don't want anything different. They don't want different representatives. They don't want different ideas. They don't want a different approach or a different angle or a different drive and another vision. They don't want that. They're perfectly fine with that. And yeah, and I see transplanted Texans making a comment. Yeah, I'm very disappointed. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't see any drive or passion to unseat Fani. And I was literally going to just lay out, because I've reached out to Courtney Kramer. I've not heard back from her. We were actually supposed to meet this week, and it didn't happen. Didn't call me back, which is perfect. That's perfectly fine. I'm not going to track anybody down, anything of that nature. I was just going to lay out. I was thinking about laying out the methodology of how one could defeat Fani Willis. And then y'all just do what you want to do. You don't have to call me back. You don't have to give me attribution or anything like that. I'm just going to say it up front. And I'll just lay it out. What was my thought? Like, this is what I would have said had we had to sit down and talk. This is how I would have advised, or what I would have said. This is how I believe Courtney Kramer could unseat Fani Willis. Actually, pretty well, actually. So, you know what? I am going to, let me grab my notes. I am going to, because I'm not going to worry about I got other things to do. So this will be the end of my political consultation firm. This is the last of my political consultation, because I'll still be a gun for hire. If you call me, I'll help you out for a small nominal fee. But I just want to bring this up. Okay. Yeah, I see some good comments about this situation, and I just want to talk about it. So, and then I will get to the Trump verdicts. I want to talk about that. I really want to hear your opinions on the Trump verdict. But I'll just lay this out. I'll just lay this out right here. Y'all can tell Courtney, hey, Jason just laid out his whole plan for you. Feel free. Number one, first thing to do. I believe it is extremely easy to take the strengths of an opponent and turn them into their weakness. All you have to do is attack their strengths. If you're familiar with a particular combat sport that I mention quite often, mixed martial arts, if you know that in order for your opponent who's strong in judo to execute a move in judo, a judo type move that will more than likely be your downfall, what you want to do is be aware of what does he do or what does she do. I don't like female combat sports, but whatever. What does he do to build himself up to get to that point? So if there's a particular move that he does, but he has to do two things with his feet, before then you take away his feet. You take away his feet and he's no longer able to use this judo move that would take you completely out. And so the same thing applies to your opponent in the other field. Take away their strength. So I think it's fair to say Fani Willis's strength is that she's a race hustler. Her other strength is that she's the first female DA in Fulton County. And another strength is that she's very, very good at monologues, just talking, campaigning, if you will. So those are three things. So you just take those away from her. Let's start with the race hustle. So if you are running against somebody like Fani Willis and you're a person of less melanin, lean in on the fact that you're a person of less melanin, but you're just as concerned about the high melanated as you are about your own people group. Demonstrate that. Show that I'm concerned about your people group, and don't do the atypical. See, this is what they do. They typically go bring bounce houses, do fish dinners, and treat you like you don't have any money. Don't do that to them. Treat them like they're adults. Treat them like they're humans, and get out there and interact with them. So if Courtney Kramer wants to unseat Fani Willis, the first thing she could do is take away her strength as it relates to being a race hustler. Lean in on her race hustling. Force her to call you a racist while you're doing things that she's not doing. You're treating them like adults. You're meeting them where they are. You're elevating the people group that doesn't look like you. Just lean in on it. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to come out here playing certain type of music or frying chicken or anything dumb like that. Be who you are, but lean in on it and just say, hey, I'm concerned about you just as much as I'm concerned about my people, because we're all Fulton County. Next thing, Fani Willis is really good and leans on her feminine wiles and the fact that she's the first black female DA of Fulton County. So what? What have you done? How are you any different from any man? Take that power away. That's one of her talking points. She leans on her femininity, female, black magic, black voodoo, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. Just call her out and say, hey, what have you actually done? What have you done different than Paul Howard? Compare her to Paul Howard. If Paul Howard was so terrible, and I've heard some mixed things. Again, I don't know how bad the former DA was, but just like, hey, how are you any different? Paul Howard was working on building a gang prevention youth center. You actually stopped that. How are you better than Paul Howard? So what does your feminine wiles have to do with that? And please understand, again, Courtney Kramer is a woman, so she can lean on that. Oh, and by the way, they like to talk about that she's young. So what's that mean? You old. What does that mean? You 53, she's not 53. What does that mean? Age is not, you're not hiring somebody because of their age. You would probably make sense to hire somebody because they have more youth. They got a longer tail. They got a longer, there's more road in front of them than is behind them. Lean on that. Courtney, lean on it. Take away her strength and her things that she uses as her belly, the things that she uses to bolster her camp. Take those away from her. Remove those from the table. And then she's going to have to deal with things on her own. And now we get to the third point. She's constantly campaigning. She's always campaigning. She's always talking to people solo. She's doing monologues. She has no problem with just talking to people. But what are you doing when you're not talking? I'm sorry, when you're talking, you're not listening. You're not taking in information. You're not processing that information. You're not synthesizing it and giving me an answer. Challenge her to debate. Challenge her to answer your questions. So another thing that Courtney Kramer could do very well is just take away the monologue. Create a situation where you need to dialogue with me. Maybe that means that you have competing campaigns. Maybe you, wherever she goes, you're right there near her. You're dogging her, or you're soon thereafter, and you're letting the people hear your voice. You're calling her out and requiring her to say, hey, why won't Fani Willis debate me about this jail situation? Why would she not debate me about where all these all these cars that the DA's office keeps getting funds for? Why won't she and just continually dog her? You know you'll be in the right when she calls you a racist. You know you'll be in the right when she calls you a racist and demands that you debate her. That's how you know you won. But again, she has some things that she's really good at. But another thing I think Courtney Kramer would do very, very well at is to sit down and determine who in Fulton County is she speaking to. Is she only speaking to white females that are sub 40? Does she speak to white men that are over 40? What about black men? What about the lower portion of Fulton County versus the higher portion of Fulton County? What about the people who have a lot of money, those people who have very little? What about the people that are in projects and those people that are in mansions? If she determines how she's going to craft her message for each person, because she can say the same thing, but how is it conveyed? And again, it's not pandering. You don't have to come out with a local rapper or having fish dinners or anything of that nature, or twerk contests, but just how do you convey your message to the different cohorts and the different people groups that comprise and make up Fulton County? Courtney Kramer could crush it, absolutely crush it. Because again, Fani Willis is running unopposed at the current moment. I'm sorry, she's running unopposed. If you look online, just do a search for Courtney Kramer's name and you tell me, is Fani Willis running against anybody? I'm sorry, I don't think she is. And it's not a lost cause by any means. It's not the lost cause until November. And in some cases, even after that. But no, it's not a lost cause. But at the current moment, Fani Willis is running unopposed. Change that. Change that. All you have to do is change it. You can flip out your phone and you can jump right in right now and do a quick live stream, 10-minute live stream, 10 things that Fani Willis won't answer, but I will. And then you just answer them, say, I'll answer them tomorrow, or I'll answer them on the next live stream. That's all she has to do. I mean, literally from her phone. I'm pretty sure she has access to a phone. Everybody seems to do nowadays, rich, poor, young and old. So just do it. Just do it. But again, I think the encouragement, the admonishment that I would have to Courtney Kramer or anybody running against an incumbent, especially when they look entrenched, is find out what are their strengths. Find out what their strengths are. And how do you remove their strengths? Because when you remove their strengths from them, they only have their weaknesses now. So going back to my mixed martial arts example, if your person is strong in boxing, strong in kickboxing, and strong in judo, if those are all sports that require you to be on your feet, those are all fighting styles that require you to be on your feet primarily. So if I can get you off your feet or off balance, so you're not on your strong lead foot, if I can keep you off your strong lead foot, you now are required to do things. You're stuck with sports like Muay Thai. You're stuck with sports like karate. You're stuck with other things that you're not good. And good gracious, if you get out in wrestling and I can out wrestle you, then I've already won the game. So all I have to do is keep you out of your strengths by being proactive and remove your strengths from you off the board. And again, I believe that Fani Willis has some strengths. I do think they're kind of ginned up. I don't think they're real in some regards. I think that they're a little bit more contrived than anything else. Like, being the first black female DA, at some point that loses its panache at some point. It's not a big deal after some point. Come on now. So, but that's what you lean on. So if that's a strength, how do I take that strength away from you and have you lean on your record, lean on your receipts? You want Fonnie Willis to dig in her purse or in her raincoat or in her other briefcase that she left in the car and pull out them receipts. That's what you want her to do. Because you know, like I know, she don't have them. So therein is her weakness. So I want to take away your black girl magic. I want to take away your speaking to only black people. You're the only voice for black people, whatever. Take that away from her and make her do other things that she's not good at. I promise you, Fonnie Willis is not able to debate. I promise you that. As sure as my name is Jason and my shirt is purple, I can guarantee you that she cannot debate. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. I'm not wrong. So that is the point. What I really believe for Courtney Kramer, because again, I do believe that she has an opportunity still. Yeah, I still think there's mad opportunities, because at the end of the day, it's not over till it's over. So when it is over with, again, when you lay your head down at night, you want to be able to say, like, I did my very best. I did the best that I could. And I think that in this regard, Courtney Kramer is in a position where she could experience that success by addressing these issues early, getting this thing now. Okay, you might have, if this is a 5-round fight, you might have slept through the first round. Okay, that's very possible. Maybe you didn't prepare yourself properly, but you are now in the fray. And if that be the case, if your desire is to win this competition, win this election, then I think that it would behoove you to put in a little bit more effort and a whole lot more drive. Flip open your camera and start now. Not tomorrow, not Tuesday, but right now. Flip open your camera and give an update and say, this is what we're going to be doing the rest of the week. I'm going to be doing a live every day at 3 o'clock, updating you on this, that, and the other. And I'll be from different places around Fulton County, giving them the business. Or maybe it's going to be later. Maybe it'll be at another time, or whatever. But I don't think that, because you're not going to see Fonnie Willis do that. That's the thing. You want to do what she's not going to be able to do. So if you know that she doesn't have gas in the tank, she doesn't have legs after a certain round, then remove that as an option from her. And then she has to lean on things that she's not good at. That's my little 2 cents. That is the end. I'm not giving any more free political consultation ideas. I'm not giving any more. So I would love to help out, though, at the end of the day. And, hey, I'll shoot an email, go back and forth with it and whatever like that. But I do think that where we are right now, I don't see I don't live in Fulton County. I don't live in Fulton County. And I don't know if I would much rather be a strategist than a person that is involved in the actual fray. I don't think because people have good ideas that they need to be the face. I will absolutely, I'm a hired gun. Somebody can hire me today, and tonight, I will be strategizing and putting together mixers, getting permits, and trying to get TV crews and all that kind of jazz at various and sundry places. I think that's my strong suit. And you just convey the ideas. There you go. So, but I don't think that's my strong suit. And this is my little 2 cents, though. But I appreciate it, though. Thank y'all. All right. Now, like I said before, everybody, thank you again. I appreciate y'all. Looks like we got about 55 people. Looks like about 55 people watching. 32 of you all have liked the video. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for liking the video. I'm glad that you like this type of political and social commentary from a Christian male perspective. I appreciate that. If you don't mind, if you do like this and you just didn't happen to do it yet, hit that like button. I do appreciate it. It does mean a lot. It lets me know that you appreciate what I'm doing. And if we get to 40, that'd be dope. It really would help out a whole lot. And if you don't like it, hey, don't worry. There's an option for you as well. You can just hit that like button 3 times and just trust me. I'm a professional. I know what I'm talking about. So you may not have heard the Trump verdict on this past Thursday. I've been calling it theater since the beginning, And they did not disappoint me. They did not disappoint me. This is political theater at its highest point. This is some gross political theater. But hey, I mean, the Lord is still in control. The Lord is still sovereign. But my goodness, in the morning, this thing is pretty grimy. So what we're going to do now is, if you're like me, you may not fully understand what was the case in New York all about. And, people who are anti-Trump, they'll treat you like you're just a Luddite because you don't get it. And you say, I don't understand why that was a felony. Like, why would you go to jail for that? Businessmen and businesswomen have been doing that forever, lying on their statements. What are you talking about? So why is that a felony? I don't get it. So, and of course, they want you to feel like you're a Luddite because you don't understand it. But I still don't get it. I ain't lying. I don't understand what was the crime. Now we can talk about the moral aspect of it. We can talk about what morally is wrong with Trump. We can do that. But before you get on that moral argument, don't say too much because I might hurt your feelings. Okay. So don't bring me about Trump being an immoral man. Please don't do that. I'm just advising you now. Don't do it. Just don't. But beside that point, I still don't get it. I don't get it. So we have Nate the Lawyer, a fantastic YouTuber. He makes excellent content. And so he did a summary of the New York case and I think he did a fantastic job of laying the cookies at a very low level. I know a lot of you all really didn't really like Viva Fry. Some people say that Viva Fry just gets too amped up. And I can understand that he does get very energetic and such like that. And I think Nate is much more subdued. Nate is much more calm and patient. So Nate did a summary of the whole New York situation, what actually happened. And I feel like he explained it pretty well because I left from it like, I think I got it. I think I understand. Do I agree with it? No. Nope. Do I think it's right? Absolutely not. Do I think that it's definitely a canary in the mine shaft for the rest of us? Absolutely. Absolutely, unequivocally. However, I think it's good for us to at least understand it so we can know what we're pushing back against and why we are pushing back against these things. So what I want to do is I want to bring Nate in, a video that Nate the Lawyer did. I thought was extremely helpful. I want to give you a chance to kind of listen to it. I might stop a little bit, but I don't want to take too much from it. And I just want to give you an opportunity to kind of hear it. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about it for sure. So let's go.
Former President Donald Trump is a convicted felon. Those are the words you're going to hear over and over again between now and November's election.
Donald John Trump.
Don't choke.
Is a convicted felon.
We have gone over a cliff in America. This verdict is a verdict of someone who was forced to fight a 1,000-pound gorilla with both hands tied behind his back. We have convicted a former president of the United States of America. We've gone over a cliff.
Okay, so we have the left wing saying this is the greatest day in American history and the right wing saying this is the darkest day in American history. Let's just look at the facts. Okay, so if you haven't heard, former President Donald Trump was convicted on 34 counts of falsifying business records in the state of New York. So the first thing I want to do is just see how each side is covering the story. Now, this is Ground News. It's an app that combines related news stories from all over the world and all over the political spectrum and puts it in one place so it makes it easy for us to see. Now, the best thing about Ground News, it shows you the political bias in the media. You get to see stories on the left and right and see how they are covering it. Look at some of these headlines on the left. Lock him up. Trump is now a convicted felon. And the Chicago Crusader. Hallelujah, Maxine Waters rejoices that Trump was convicted in hush money trial. And on the right, you have things like Kangaroo Court convicts Trump in NYC Soviet show trial. Here, you even have Timcast from here on YouTube. Trump was found guilty on all counts. Trump was rigged. Case was fake. Now, the great thing about Ground News is that you don't have to go all over the internet looking for the articles. They aggregate all the articles in one place, and there's over 600 articles on this Trump situation alone. Now, this is one of the best things about this app is that you get to see all of the media bias all in one place. And then if you just want to read one of the articles, it takes you directly there by clicking read the full article. So let me do something crazy. Let me try to pull back and let you determine if the left side has it more correct or the right side has it more correct. Now, if you're a fan of getting the full picture, go to ground.news/Nate. That's ground.news/Nate. You'll get 40% off unlimited access. Now, let's cut through the crap and try to see this Trump trial without the media bias. So to accomplish this goal, we are going directly to the documents. This is the indictment. This is the statement of facts that led to the indictment, and these are the jury instructions. Now, let's start with the indictment. Trump was charged with 34 counts of falsifying business records in the first degree, which is a violation of New York Penal Law, Section 175.10. Even though there are 34 counts in this indictment really only encompasses 11 transactions. Now, to understand that aspect of it, we have to move to the statement of facts. The statement of facts actually tells you what facts led to the charges in the indictment. For instance, they start off by mentioning that former President Donald Trump had an agreement with American Media, Inc. That is the company that handles the National Enquirer. Now, at the end of paragraph 7, it says that the National Enquirer, who's owned by AMI, admitted in a non-prosecution agreement, that's an agreement not to prosecute them, that it made a payment to a source, that source is Karen McDougal, of a story to ensure that the source did not publicize damaging allegations about the defendant, Donald Trump, before the 2016 election, thereby influence that election. I don't care what anyone else is telling you. This whole conviction and this whole trial came down to one particular story. That Stormy Daniels story, and the fact that Michael Cohen paid her $130,000 to sign an NDA. As you can see here in the statement of facts, Cohen created a shell company called Essential Consultants, LLC. Michael Cohen then took out a $131,000 line of credit on his house and then transferred $130,000 to Essential Consultant, LLC. But now, how is Michael Cohen going to be paid back? He was out $130,000. So Michael Cohen then started to negotiate with the Trump Organization, saying that, hey, I have a $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels, and then I have another $50,000 in other expenses that I haven't been paid for. So I need to be reimbursed a total of $180,000. But now here's where things get complicated. See, if they just paid Cohen back $180,000, Cohen would have to pay tax on that money, which is about a 50% tax rate. So out of $180,000, he would only get about $90,000. So the Trump Organization agreed to pay Michael Cohen $360,000. Double. So when he paid his taxes, he would get $180,000 back. And then because Michael Cohen was a good employee, they gave him a $60,000 end of the year bonus. So that made the total that Michael Cohen was going to be repaid $420,000. Now, to pay Michael Cohen back, the Trump Organization decided to cut up the payments into 12 installments of $35,000 a month over the course of a year. Now, each payment would be labeled legal services rendered for that particular month. So, for instance, the first payment that was in January would be labeled as legal services that Michael Cohen rendered in the month of January. Now, the Trump team had confirmed that this was the plan. For instance, here's Rudy Giuliani and former President Trump explaining how this all worked.
And Michael Cohen?
Why isn't that
having something?
Where's Mueller on that, sir?
Having something to do with paying some Stormy Daniels woman $130,000? I mean, which is going to turn out to be perfectly legal. That money was not campaign money. Sorry, I'm giving you a fact now that you don't know. It's not campaign money. No campaign finance violation. So
they funneled it through the law firm.
Funneled through a law firm, and the president repaid it.
Oh, I didn't know he did.
Yep.
There's no campaign finance law.
Zero.
So the president.
Just like Sean.
So this decision was made by.
Everybody was nervous about this from the very beginning. I wasn't. I knew how much money Donald Trump put into that campaign. I said, $130,000. He's going to do a couple of checks for $130,000. When I heard Cohen's retainer of $35,000, when he was doing no work for the president, I said, but that's how he's repaying. That's how he's repaying it, with a little profit and a little margin for paying taxes for Michael.
The president, but do you know the president didn't know about this? I believe that's what
he didn't
Michael
know
had
about
said.
the specifics of it, as far as I know. But he did know about the general arrangement that Michael would take care of things like this, like I take care of things like this for my clients. I don't burden them with every single thing that comes along. These are busy people.
Did you know about the payments?
Later on, I knew. Later on. But you have to understand, Ainsley, what he did, and they weren't taken out of campaign finance. That's a big thing. That's a much bigger thing. Did they come out of the campaign? They didn't come out of the campaign. They came from me, and I tweeted about it. You know, I don't know if you know, but I tweeted about the payments. But they didn't come out of campaign. In fact, my first question when I heard about it was, did they come out of the campaign? Because that could be a little dicey. And they didn't come out of the campaign, and that's big. But they weren't, it's not even a campaign violation.
So this confirms that there was an arrangement. Trump and Trump's attorney, Rudy Giuliani, said Trump knew about the arrangement, and that since this money didn't come from campaign contributions, it was out of Trump's own pocket, there was nothing illegal with this arrangement. The FEC and the federal government also agreed with this assessment because when they investigated, they cleared the Trump organization of any wrongdoing. And here is a former commissioner of the FEC explaining why this was okay.
Hi, I'm Hans von Spakovsky. I'm a senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, but I also spent 2 years as a commissioner at the Federal Election Commission. That's the federal agency responsible for enforcing the Federal Election Campaign Act, which regulates how candidates for federal office raise and spend money. The supposed campaign finance violation that the U.S. Attorney's Office in New York is claiming is actually not a violation of campaign finance laws. Here's why. In order for the rules to apply, it has to be a campaign-related expense. The Justice Department only once before has tried to claim that these kind of payments are a campaign-related expense. That's when they attempted to prosecute John Edwards. Remember that case? Contributors to John Edwards actually paid money to his mistress, who actually was working for the campaign and had his child. A jury did not believe these were campaign-related expenses, and in fact, John Edwards had 2 former commissioners of the FEC there to testify these were not campaign-related expenses. In fact, when the FEC audited his campaign, the agency itself concluded these were not campaign-related expenses. So this really is not a problem for the president, even though Michael Cohen is pleading guilty to this, because the U.S. Attorney's Office is basically being over-aggressive on this issue. If you take their views to its extreme, it would mean that any time a candidate pays off a legal claim against it, that's a campaign-related expense. Well, if that's the case, remember in 2017 it was reported that members of Congress have paid over $17 million to pay off almost 300 claims made against those members of Congress for sexual harassment and other claims like that. If the U.S. Attorney's Office is right, then all of those would be campaign-related expenses. Why? Because those payments were meant to silence the people making the claim so that the candidates would not be embarrassed. And obviously there's potential violations of campaign finance law. Why? Because taxpayer money was used to pay off a campaign-related expense. That just shows how irrational the view is of the U.S. Attorney in the Southern District of New York, and how far outside it is of the usual view of campaign finance law and violations under it.
Now, over the next 11 months, Michael Cohen was issued 1 check per month for $35,000, 11 checks in total. Now, with each one of those checks came an invoice, and the company recorded it in a ledger. Now, if you do the math, that's 33 counts. But the reason why there's 34 counts is because on the first check, they made 2 entries into the general ledger and only issued 1 check. So now we've seen the government's side of the coin, what they're alleging, why they're alleging it, and why each count is what it is. But now let's talk about the defense. Now, the first claim of the defense is selective prosecution. The Manhattan DA who prosecuted the case, his name is Alvin Bragg. He actually ran on a platform to quote unquote get Trump. And again, his platform was he is going to get Donald Trump.
And we are together with Alvin Bragg today, running for Manhattan District Attorney to try to remove Cy Vance, I think, whose Cy's been sitting on the gig for a couple of decades. Right, Alvin?
He's a decade. He's going on 12 years at the end of his term. So
12. So I have my issues with Cy Vance, and there's things that I believe he hasn't done well. But one of the things leading into this vote for the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, I know a lot of people are wondering, whoever has this job, are they going to convict Donald Trump?
Look, that is the number one issue. We know he's investigating. And what I'll say is I was the first to announce against Cy Vance. I too have a lot of issues, which is why I decided to run. I'm the candidate in the race who has the experience with Donald Trump. I was the chief deputy in the Attorney General's office. We sued the Trump administration over 100 times for the Muslim travel ban, for family separation at the border, for shenanigans with the census. So I know how to litigate with him. I also led the team that did the Trump Foundation case. So I'm ready to go wherever the facts take me and to inherit that case. And I think, it'd be hard to argue with the fact that that'd be the most important, most high profile case. And I've seen him up front and seen the lawlessness that he can do.
And you believe it should happen?
I believe we have to hold him accountable. I haven't seen all the facts beyond the public, but I've litigated with him. And so I'm prepared to go where the facts take me once I see them and hold him accountable.
Now, the second claim may not be as obvious, but the Trump team is saying that these were legal services. Let me explain. Michael Cohen was Trump's lawyer, and Michael Cohen was tasked with negotiating settlements with people who made claims against the president. So when Stormy Daniels made this claim against Trump, Michael Cohen went in and did exactly what he was paid to do. Negotiate a settlement, make the payment, and then get reimbursed for that payment. Legal services rendered. Now, the third argument was pretty simple. This was Michael Cohen's job for the past 10 years. Michael Cohen was known as Trump's fixer. So this wasn't anything special for the campaign, but something they had been doing for years. Now, even though morally it may seem suspect, but Donald Trump didn't want his wife and family to find out that he was having these affairs with these women. This wasn't in the furtherance of the presidential campaign, which would be illegal, but this was a man who wanted to keep his secrets from his wife. Immoral, yes, but illegal, not so much. Trump's last argument, which most people think is the strongest, is their argument against violations of the Federal Elections Campaign Act. The campaign finance law piece is extremely, and I mean extremely important, because the New York state government had to prove that Trump and the Trump organization violated federal campaign finance laws. If the New York prosecutors can convince a New York state jury that the Trump organization violated federal election law, then they can charge Trump and the Trump organization with felonies instead of misdemeanors. The Trump team's argument is simple. As CNN reports, the feds actually cleared the Trump organization of any campaign finance violations in regards to these payments to Stormy Daniels. But now you have a jury in New York State sitting claiming that, yes, the Trump organization did in fact violate campaign finance law. So on one hand, you have the federal government saying, yes, the Trump organization didn't violate federal law when it comes to campaign finance. And now you have a state judge with a state jury saying, well, we believe that he did violate federal campaign finance law. So now, in less than 20 minutes, you now know everything you need to know about why Trump was convicted on 34 counts of falsifying business records. Let me know how you feel in the comments section, because half the country believes that this was a just verdict and he should have been convicted, but the other half thinks that this was a sham verdict. You heard all the arguments. Let me know in the comments section how you feel. Who do you think has the better argument? Should he have been convicted? Should he not have been convicted? Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, do all the great YouTube stuff. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Thanks, Nate. Thanks so much. All right. I want to hear what y'all think about it. So I put a poll up a moment ago. Let's see what this poll is saying. What are these people saying? These people are saying that, I said, do you agree with the Trump verdict? 10% said 9% say yes. 86% say no. and not sure has a rounding 5%. So it seems like most people do not agree that this is the case. That's a great question, Franklin Zuna. That is a great question. That's a great question. I don't know. I'm going to go with no, because otherwise they would have to admit that. And it seems pretty clear that they're not going to do things like that. So I'm going to probably go with no, she was not committing. I'm sorry, she was not charged, rather. She might have been committing extortion. She just isn't charged with it, because that's how they roll. That's how they roll up in New York. That's how they get down. It's very disappointing, but I mean, it is what it is. I think I am interested in seeing how this thing shakes out. But I mean, personally, I think, I don't know. Did I bring this video in? I don't think I had it ready. Hold on 1 second. Did you all see that Donald Trump went to UFC 302 last night? Let me see if I pulled it up. I think I have that video. I do have the video. Okay. So last night, Donald Trump is, first of all, a really big supporter of UFC, which is mixed martial arts, cage match fighting. Okay. And he's gone to several matches and completely changed the whole atmosphere. And last night, the co-main event, a young man beat another young man. I just want you to see what was his response. Yeah, I totally forgot about this. Let's bring it in. I just pulled it in. It looks fishy. It looks suspect. It looks real. Why does it look so blurry? I just think that's telling. I think that is so telling. Now, granted, it's not an end all be all. I got you. I totally understand. Let me see if I can get this thing to do right. All right. I know it's not an end all be all. I totally get it. But I didn't snag the video earlier when Donald Trump walks in to the arena. You would have thought he was the heavyweight champion. I personally think the other team is doing themselves a massive, massive disservice by continuing to attack Donald Trump. Did y'all hear how much money he raised after the conviction was read on Thursday? $53 million in less than a day, less than 24 hours. It's some astronomical, insane amount of money in his war chest. The likelihood is that he won't go to jail. He'll just be a convicted felon. And it is very clear the people that support Donald Trump don't care. They're not bothered by that. They said, I will vote for a convicted felon. Why don't y'all just beat the guy? I'm just telling you again. I know I told you earlier that I'm done with my political consulting firm, but I lied. I'm back again. Just beat him. That's it. Joe Biden is the most popular president in the history of ever. He got like 75 quadrillion votes the last election. I think literally all the stardust in the galaxy voted for Joe. And that being the case, then it should be a seal deal. Joe Biden should have no worries, no fears that he would lose to Donald Trump. He should be like, man, leave that man alone. Let me beat him. Let me show y'all how to win. That's all he needs to do. That's all he needs to do is just beat Donald Trump. If you follow the methodology that I gave earlier, what are Donald Trump's strengths? The American people. So Joe, win the American people over. The grassroots people. The people that are paying $4 a gallon in gas. They're paying $5 a gallon. A gallon for milk, $10 for eggs. Those people who are getting less paycheck every month because you're giving money to the Ukraine and to various and sundry groups, the people that are losing their jobs because you have a porous border. Joe Biden, just win these people over. You've got them, man. You've got them. You can win them with Joe, you got them. Just do it. You big proud of the price of bread, then go campaign on that, Joe. Campaign on the things that the average Joe and Jane, the average American, are concerned about. Because at the end of the day, the average American is not worried about student loan forgiveness. I'm just being honest with you. That's not what the average American, even the average college student, college graduate, is not really worried about student loan repayment. Because guess what? They ain't got no jobs. So Joe, just win them over. That's all you gotta do. We're worried about gas prices. But see, you would rather than drill in the United States, you want to get gas from overseas. Then just run on that, Joe. You can beat Donald Trump. You can. Just run on, just have rallies like he did in the Bronx. Sure, it wasn't 80,000 people. I do think a lot of people are embellishing those numbers, but just go to, Joe, I mean, you can win. Go to the most hostile place that you can think of and get you 20,000 people there to support you. Do that. That's all you got to do, Joe. Take away what Donald Trump is good at. Donald Trump is good at rallying people together. I would love to see Joe Biden go to a UFC match. There's going to be one in 2 weeks. Go to that. Joe Biden goes to UFC 304. It's called 304. I just thought about that. Oh my gosh. I think it's 303. I'm sorry. It's UFC 303. Go to that, Joe, and show them and let them start shouting about how much they love Joe Biden. I think it'd be great. Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh, it's at the end of the month. I'm sorry. It's at the end of the month. Oh, it's a big card too. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is gonna be a great card. Oh, this gonna be a banger, Joe. Joe Biden, go to UFC 303. It's on the 29th of June. And just walk in there and listen to the audience and the crowd. You're going to win them over, Joe, because they're so excited that they're paying this much in gas, that flights cost this much, that their job is being affected this much. Joe, just run on your accomplishments, sir. Run on your accomplishments. Who cares? Who cares? You should not even care about what Trump is doing. Joe, you should be so proud of what you're doing, and you should be highlighting and starring and marqueing all of your accomplishments, Joe. Not the things that Trump is doing. Who cares? You can beat him, Joe. Remember, you got 95 quadrillion votes. I mean, all the krill in the ocean voted for you, my guy. Like, come on. Just go out there and just win. All right, that's the end of that. I mean, really. I want to hear what y'all think, though. All right, I am going to drop the link, and it's actually at the top. I'm sorry. I opened the link up right here. I'd love for y'all to, if you got something you want to say, you want to talk about it, why don't you come on, jump on in. I'll drop it in the chat as well. But I appreciate you. I do see my good friend, Independent Mail, is in the chat. Good to see you. I agree, Sylvia. I mean, there you go. I mean, I'm not justifying it by any means. It is repulsive and it is a shame and a blight, but let's not pretend, okay? Let's not pretend like America is some high moral anything. Let's not do that, okay? That's not that bridge, we done already crossed that one. So let's stop pretending like we're some high moral standard, okay? Let's not do that. I see some great comments. Yeah, jump up in here. Willie Doc, what's going on, man? Good to see you. I saw Independent Mail. There you go. I love Nate's breakdown. Nate does a fantastic job. Shout out to Nate the Lawyer. If Nate the Lawyer wants to come on one day, I'd be happy to have a rap with him. I'd love to hear who he is because I think he's a great guy. He has an excellent perspective. And I feel like he just gives us he puts the cookies on a shelf that everybody can reach them. Then we can all run around hyped up on sugars and cookies. But at least he puts them on the shelf where everybody can enjoy them. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. I see a lot of good people in the chat. I'm always glad to see some of my favorites and such like that, which every one of y'all are my favorites because you all are part of. There it is. You know what? Transplanted Texan. I love Transplanted Texan. Don't tell Lady Dear World Christian, but I love Transplanted Texan. Transplanted Texan be like thinking in my thoughts. I just saw that link. Where'd that link go? Ay, I just had it. All right, here we go. We're going to pull this in because I want y'all to see what I'm talking about. Joe, you got it, Joe. Joe, you got this, Joe. I'm telling Joe Biden right now. Joe Biden, you got this, my guy. You can totally beat this dude. Let's pull this in so y'all can see, like, come on, man. Joe, you got this, man. You can beat him, man. Let's get you some good volume. Y'all ready? Let's go to war. Let's go. All right. Here we go. Hey, Joe, just beat him, my guy. Just beat him. I mean, clearly, if Joe Biden went to UFC 303, I would buy that one. I'm sorry. If Joe Biden goes to UFC 303, I will pay for that pay-per-view. I think it would be adorable if he did. I would love it. I would be here for it. I would be here for it because I think it would be great. Thank you so much, Transplanted Texan, for getting that to me. If I missed any comments, I do apologize. I'm trying to keep these comments moving, but I appreciate y'all. Hey, now, guy, he's the most popular president in the history of life, man. He got more votes than stars in the solar system. My guy, he's very popular, extremely popular. This is very interesting. I did hear this, Costa Chameleon. He said, did you hear that the DNC is going to let Biden do a Zoom call instead of attend the convention? You know why? Because the convention is supposed to be in Chicago. And Chicago is, let's just say it's not very safe lately. So those Democratic policies, but see, this is what I'm saying. Take away their strength. Donald Trump should now go immediately to Chicago and prove that Chicago can go red. That's it. Just do it. Just do it. If you don't want to do it, we're going to campaign during the DNC in Chicago. I mean, just be a complete and utter pest. Be a pest, if nothing else. The people who vote for Biden should be they should be like, oh man, they should know exactly who they're voting for. They should see the contrast. If in fact you are a contrast, if there's a difference between Trump and Biden, it should be as clear as night and day. They should be able to clearly see, there's a difference. However they wash that difference out. Oh, he's a felon. He's not a felon. Okay, that's fine. But they should be very clear. Make it clear. Susie, that right there, I was feeling bad at first, but then I read Susie. Y'all, do me a favor. Y'all, I need the moderators to put Susie in 0-second timeout right now. Just go ahead and put Susie in timeout right now. And the rest of y'all, write Susie's name in the chat because she's misbehaving. Please put Susie's name in the chat, and she's got to go in 0-second timeout. And if you're new to the channel, 0-second timeout is where we put people that are misbehaving in the chat. That's where we put them. And that's where she's going. Y'all put Susie in the chat. Susie is now in 0-second timeout. Thank you so much, Willie Doc. Thank you so much, brother. Willie Doc with the very gracious, extremely kind super chat. He says, popcorn popping for the DA and presidential races. Let me tell you, these races are going to be crazy. They're going to be bananas. Make sure y'all put Susie in the chat. Let her know. Susie, that was out of pocket. That was so out of pocket. Thank you, Transplanted Texan. She's in and she's out. Absolutely. Yo, that would be savagery. I would have to put Donald Trump in 0-second timeout if he did that, retired. If he did that, if Donald Trump sends Alvin Bragg a thank you note, I'm going to send Donald Trump a donation if he does that, because that's going to be savage. See, that's what I'm talking about. Be a pest. Let them know that you're not bothering me and you're not bothering the American people. That would be hilarious. Oh my gosh, that would be hilarious. That would be the best. I have to hold on to that one. I might have to hold on to that comment. That might show up sometime later. He is that petty. I want that kind of pettiness. I am here today on Sunday, June 2nd for that level of pettiness. I'm here for it. I want that kind of pettiness. I want that kind of pettiness. By the way, oh my gosh, that's hilarious. We're going to put him in 0-second timeout. He's already been in there. He's been out. There you go. We got his mugshot and everything. That's hilarious. But see, the other side of the team can't enjoy themselves. That's the part that I find hilarious. Like, look, I'm not wringing my hands like, oh, goodness, the world's coming to an end because Donald Trump. No, I didn't think Donald Trump was the savior. I was never under the impression that he was a savior. He's a president or wants to be the president, sure. And God will put him in place or God won't. That's perfectly fine. But at the end of the day, it's God who I'm ultimately trusting. So I'm not trusting that Donald Trump has all the right answers, because there's a lot of things he does that are not right. Let's just be honest, okay? Stop pretending. So that being the case, sure, is he better than Biden? Hands down. Is he more alert than Kamala? All the day. But at the end of the day, let's just be honest though, people. He's not perfect by any means or measures. So stop leaning on somebody who's not perfect. Lean on him who is perfect. I'm just here, dearwalkc@gmail.com if you have a question, comment, or concern. All right, what we got? I love it. That was great. Thank you so much again for that transplanted text. And did I see a comment? Let's see right here. I am here for it as well. Q said, absolutely, absolutely. I'm here for the pettiness. That's what I'm saying. Like, be a pest. I don't think there's any, and I'll bring it back around the block, around 285, as we were talking about the Fulton County DA case going on. I mean, DA election here in Georgia. Get in it. You got to get into it. You got to. There's no way if you don't get your hands into this mix and start stirring the pot, then you are not going to unseat an incumbent. I mean, Trump goes to, blessed UFC match. Do you know how much consternation cage fighting gives liberals to start with? To see people fighting and pounding and pummeling each other, and sometimes there's a lot of blood all over the place. Good gravy. And then he goes to that, and then he gets a standing ovation from the, oh my gosh. Come on. That is crazy. Let me make Willie Doc the stream sponsor. I just thought about that. I've not added Willie Doc to the stream sponsor. Hold on 1 second. All right, let's drop that in the chat for y'all. Thank Willie Doc real quick. If y'all don't mind, just give me a real quick thank you to Willie Doc. Drop Willie Doc's name in the chat and just let him know we appreciate him, man. Great brother. He's not only my Morehouse brother, but he's my brother in the Christian faith. And he's been a fantastic supporter of this channel, as well as even Podium Studios. He's actually been to the studio several times, I think, right? And he's been a fantastic help. So y'all type Willie Doc in the chat. I really do appreciate him. I appreciate all of y'all. Thank you so much. And let him know we appreciate him, man. Thank you, Willie Doc. Okay, so I do not talk about, and I had no intention of talking about this on this evening, but maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow. This whole thing with the WNBA has gotten, somebody sent me a link and I was kind of watching because I don't keep up with it. And I had to do a lot of piecing together. But this whole thing with the WNBA is so interesting to me. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Independent Mail has done a much deeper dive into it. Maybe if he does one, maybe I'll come on this show and cause havoc in his chat section or something. But I think it's really interesting. And I'm very interested in hearing how this thing shakes out, because it's wild. Okay. All right, let me real quick. I see some good comments. The Apex says Trump is not perfect, but I'm definitely not holding him to a higher standard as a politician than I do some called pastors and preachers that have been running around. Yikes. Shots fired. Let me get that shots fired sound effect. But what Shara say here? Shara says, yes, USC started in Denver and Democrat Mayor Wellington Webb banned it. Sure did. And now look at it. 20-something years later, it's still cooking. Cooking. Absolutely. Why won't you acknowledge Joe as your Morehouse brother, Jay? You know why? Because
ain't nobody got time for that.
That's why. Ain't nobody studying that stuff. Get out of here. Nuts. I don't stay up late. That is true. That is a true statement. That is a true shot. And I remember, oh, by the way, what's going on? Independent Mail said, did Trump go to a WNBA game? He only mailed. Look, he brought more people to the game than have been at the game. Did he really go? Or are you just saying that? You just being silly. Thank you so much, by the way, Independent Mail. Thank you so much, man, for the super chat. Very kind of you. Very kind. I see. We already now. I gotta boot Willie Doc out the way. We gotta give Independent Mail that dubious honor. But and by the way, if you could, moderators, could you please drop Independent Mail's channel in the chat as well? I would love for people to go check him out. I know he's got some fun things coming up soon. He's got some good a new update that he's gonna be rolling out. I don't want to steal any thunder from you, my brother. So I'm gonna let you talk about it. Good to see you, Shamika. Thank you so much. And if I did not speak to you all, I do apologize. So don't feel like I'm dissing you. I wanted to jump right in. I had a couple of comments that wanted me to kind of jump in a little bit faster. So I was trying my best to touch everybody, if you will. That didn't sound right. That didn't come across right. Let me rephrase that. I was trying my best to address everybody's concerns as best possible. So I apologize. Usually I start out by giving a lot of good shout outs in the beginning. So I apologize about that. Dude, I thought you were saying that if Trump had gone to a WNBA game, bruh, I would absolutely unequivocally watch that. I don't even care who's playing. I don't know who's playing, but I will watch it. Thank you so much for dropping Independent Mail's URL in the chat. Thank you so much. Y'all go check out what Quentin's doing over there. Great brother. Really does a great job of addressing not only things like Tiffany Henyard, he's been talking about the WNBA, but he does a lot of things. In my opinion, he does a lot of things very similar and akin to how Nate the lawyer handles it. He tries his best to give you both sides of the argument. Maybe he might make you a little bit mad one way or another, but he does a great job nonetheless. So thank you so much, Quentin, for that gracious super chat. Thank you so much for that and for checking out and supporting the channel. All right, what we got? Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. That definitely did not go well. Make a sound bite out of that. Clip it. I do not approve of that. Okay, so I'm done with my iced coffee. So just in case people had somebody tell me they don't like when I drink all the way down to the bottom of the cup. So now we're in water now. Now we're on water now. I listen to the people. I do listen to the people. If only he wasn't a night owl, I could catch a live. Yo, Quentin, okay, what we're going to do, I know Independent Mail is going out of town soon. When he comes back, we're going to have him come and do a live stream from Podium Studios. Oh, by the way, he's here in Atlanta as well. We're going to have him come to Podium Studios. We're going to do a live stream from there. It's going to have to be, daytime live streams so we can hang out with him. So we'll work something out. That'll be his birthday, Juneteenth, Father's Day. I don't know what other holidays are coming up. That'll be his present. Oh my gosh! Don't get me started with this. Okay, I'm gonna have to look it up. Transplanted Texan. Let me see. Transplanted Texan sent me a link about these this WNBA shenanigans. Oh my gosh, this is just horrible. All right, so, but see, I feel disingenuous because I really have no idea what's going on. Like, I don't even know. I know they're in Chicago. Okay, let's pull it in so we'll watch it together. All right, let's bring this in. All right. So most of y'all have seen this. Okay, so Indiana Fever. Okay, there we go. I didn't even know who the team was. All right, here we go.
Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench. And Clark. I mean, that's clearly which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Kennedy Carter.
That should be unnecessary, man.
Kennedy Carter now.
That should be totally unnecessary roughness.
And Clark.
All right, so I just want to. And I'm gonna do a little bit more digging. I will do some more digging and kind of get a better understanding of what is all this foolishness about. Because to me, the WNBA is not, well, I'll just tell the truth. WNBA has never been lucrative. It's never been solvent. It's always required somebody to prop it up. And guess who's been propping it up? The NBA. The NBA pays more money into the WNBA than anybody else. So that being the case, the WNBA at this point, if I'm understanding correctly, this young lady on the Fever, the less melanated young lady, has drawn a lot of attention to the WNBA. In my mind, everybody's going to benefit from more people paying attention to the WNBA rather than less people paying attention to the WNBA. So if it's a less melanated young lady that's shooting the lights out and drawing attention to the game, everybody, a rising tide lifts all ships. So everybody's going to benefit from that. But if you end up breaking this woman's arm, body checking her and kicking her in such of that nature and ruining the game, guess what? What? Oh, but if you do that, then nobody's going to benefit from that. Let me double check. Nobody's going to benefit from that. And at the end of the day, here, I'm dropping that link again. If I think I just saw Quentin said he could not get on the link, but let me try it again. I just dropped it again. See if that works. I definitely have it open. I'm sitting here, but nobody benefits from that. So if this young lady that's drawing all the attention to and by attention, I mean people who are going to buy tickets, because please understand, I know this doesn't work in the feminine mindset. I need your smooth brain to understand this. If you're a feminist, you need men to watch female sports. I'm just telling you that. I'm just telling you that right now. Because if it were only women that came to WNBA, they probably wouldn't have made it this long. Okay? You need men to watch WNBA games. I'm sorry. That's just the truth. Just like NBA. There we go. I knew it. Grace and peace, man. How are you? Hold on one second. You are muted, my friend. Unmute yourself. All right, this like this.
All right.
There we go. Let's
now.
see him. Go ahead and let me hear you. Go ahead and talk.
Am I unmuted now?
You are unmuted, my friend. Grace and peace. How are you, friend?
All right. Grace and peace to you, sir.
What's going on, man?
Doing well.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have independent male in the building. So did that first link not work? Is that what happened? Or
yeah, the first one didn't. It just stayed gray. Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Okay. Well, now we got you. All right. What's on your mind, man? You got something about this Caitlyn case, this WNBA case? You want to talk about Trump at UFC? Do you watch UFC?
Actually, I'm with Shar as far as I watched back in the day when it first came out. But I have the new iterations when it started getting into the hundreds. I have not seen it so much.
Really?
Yeah.
I stopped at 250, so I haven't watched it.
Oh, so see, yeah.
I think I stopped watching when. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. You stopped watching.
I stopped watching when they lost sponsorship deals, when Reebok came on, and they weren't able to get their own sponsors on their shorts. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that was a
oh, got it.
I didn't like that. I disagreed with that. But that's some inside baseball.
Okay.
Anyway,
Okay.
How are you, my friend? Good to see you.
I'm doing very well. Of course, I almost felt like your text message this morning was a setup when you were like, make sure I check out the show, because I think you thought I was going to be triggered with the Trump stuff. Yeah, make sure you have your favorite beverage. It's going to be on tonight. And it is funny because, like I said in the chat, that was ridiculously informative. I really did.
Nate?
Yes, it
Nate
was.
Nate crushes it.
Nate, the lawyer, brought out, because I always thought that was the weakest case, and it was the one that I didn't care about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Was there a moral factor? Yeah. And like you were saying, in the scheme, in the whole realm of politicians, is that unheard of? No. So it wasn't something that I really cared about so much. And even, you know what I'm saying, with the quote unquote finagling of the payments. But I liked how Nate broke down the fact that it could have been interpreted, especially with the guy that he brought on. I remember his name. That was from agency that looks at campaign finance, where it was like it was a bit of a overreach because the actual thing, the action that was paid for wasn't a campaign, item
Absolutely.
per se. So, and the fact that it was denied on the federal level, but then the jury tried it on the state level, kind of based on different information or whatever. I totally get that, and I love that explanation of it, because looking at it from that aspect, then you can understand, sham responses, about the verdict. So I appreciate it, seeing that a lot. And again, that's how the independent mail is. It's like I'll try my best to look at both sides, with the information. Now,
I think you do. I agree.
I meant to preface this before I jumped into what I liked about Nate the lawyer.
Go ahead.
And I want to preface it with this very quickly. DWC fam, I just wanted, and again, I'm about to go out of town, so I don't know how much I'll talk to you this week and all that good stuff, but I wanted to publicly give this man his flowers. Jason at DWC is truly a genuine individual. He is a great guy. He is a great mentor. He is a great coach. He is a selfless and authentic individual, and I could not be more happier to have somebody like you in my circle. Just wanted to say that.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Let me tell you, man, it's fun having you in my camp as well, man. I do appreciate you, man. Thank you for your insight. Thank you for your willingness to work through stuff and take my text messages at all times of the day.
Yo, we always up.
We be taking texts. Like, what are we doing, man? Why are we doing this?
But on and as you were saying, I am starting to take interest in the WNBA and covering some of the storylines, because there are some good storylines now in the WNBA, and I think a lot of times what people forget is that storylines in sports sell the game just as much as the actual play. And like you were saying with the tide lifting all ships, this storyline has been developing far before this year.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have had a rivalry for the past 2 years, starting with, Caitlin making a choke sign like 2 tournaments ago, and then Angel Reese and them winning the tournament, and she doubled down with the ring finger thing. And now they have brought that rivalry into being rookies at the same time in the WNBA that was starved for eyeballs. And so I'm with you. With some of these people that are complaining about why the extra eyeballs are there, they need to knock it off and take advantage of the extra eyeballs and show us why we should have been paying attention the entire time. Because like you said, they need the extra men eyeballs, because unfortunately this product has been put out there for females, and adult females don't consume it. They rather watch the Real Housewives of fill in the blank and Love and fill in the blank. Anything with drama, but they're not getting ready to watch people that put their heart, soul, and sweat and tears for years to make it to that level. They're not going to watch it play that. So we're going to have to watch it.
I agree. Okay. I was literally going to say the WNBA would be smart if they hired writers from WWE that can write very compelling heel and face story. And what I mean, I'm sorry, just in case you're not understanding, professional wrestling, we all know is scripted. Okay, but they have some fantastic storylines, especially in the 80s when Hogan and them were very popular and young. They had some great storylines, but they were all written out. They were scripts.
Yes.
They were scripts. All
But
that stuff
great.
that they were
You're
saying
right.
in the mic, all those mic moments, and Rowdy Piper, the Piper's Pit, and Mean Gene Okerlund, all that stuff was scripted. The Macho Man was all scripted. That was all it. So I'm sorry to say this. If they got some good script writers to help them put together now y'all can still hate each other in the locker room, but my goodness in the morning, y'all gonna play this role and play it well. Because think about how ignorant it is. Can you imagine if Magic Johnson and Larry Bird treated each other like they're treating each other now? That would be insane.
That was and again, a great rivalry in college that ended up coming over to the pros. Everybody benefited.
Right. And so, but it didn't go to, racial animus and just like outright. I don't think, as far as I know, Larry Bird and Magic Johnson actually did like one another and Michael Jordan and all the various sundries. They might have liked each other. They might not have, but we never knew it like that. But go ahead.
And here's the thing, because a lot of the storyline with the Caitlin Clark thing is a lot of comments coming from WNBA players and some WNBA fans that are complaining that, oh, there's a surge of attention on the league now because, and let's say it like it is, a little less melanated girl is busted the scene and broken records and blah, blah, blah. Like I've had text messages with people sending me archaic old records from Division II, not paying attention that she's the Division I, athlete, sending me records of people that may have scored more points. It's a different division. And the thing that would crack me up about it is I know that individual had no interest in women's sports whatsoever. The only thing they had interest in was showing how this little, less melanated girl wasn't the best. And here's my, and I'm gonna get off of this. I'm gonna let it go. But what I don't understand is when we break through something, meaning us in the community, meaning like, oh, let me take you to 1996, Venus and Serena Williams, or maybe a guy named Tiger Woods. When we have athletes bust into a scene or industry or realm that they weren't previously in, and they excel and almost quote unquote take it over, we want to celebrate it in the community, and we want everybody else to acknowledge it and celebrate it also. Why can Miss Clark not enjoy that right now?
Why not?
Why can't she enjoy that?
I think, and this is, a lot of people are not going to like this, but I think it proves the fact that women don't really like women. I'm here. DearWokeC@gmail.com. Please make sure, please make sure you email management. 'Cause I haven't had enough comments in management. So women don't really like women. And I tell people all the time, if you want to watch some of the worst advice given to women, watch a woman's podcast, a woman's roundtable, whatever like that. You want to hear some like, are you trying to sabotage this person? Like, what is wrong? Like, women don't like women. Because at the end of the day, that's the truth of the matter. So when it comes down to it, y'all can say what y'all want to say. Men are much more willing to give men an opportunity to shine. And because again, like we can see, like if Quentin does well in this, everybody's going to do well. And it's going to lift the ship for everybody. Now, it might lift a dinghy. It might lift a battle cruiser. But it's the same tide that lifts both of them. So I need to upgrade my dinghy to a sailboat. And then maybe in 2 years, I can make it a yacht. You're going to still be a battle cruiser, but that's what it is. It's not I can change it. But I can improve my own self. And at the end of the day, we don't do that. We look at it as, again, it's jealousy. That's why the scriptures teach us not to covet. Because that's where not only do I want what you have, I don't want you to have what you have.
Yeah.
And at this game, instead of motivating, say, hey, you know what? This person is shooting lights out. Is there anything I can learn from this shooting this lights out person? Can I glean something from it? I mean, we see, it's funny because we've all heard the lore of Steph Curry's shooting habits, Tiger Woods' hitting habits, till his hands were bloody, till the lights went off, and all this kind of stuff like that. Are y'all doing that? Are y'all doing that? Are you doing that? If you're not doing it, then be quiet. Yeah. So that's why. So, so I see some other comments. I don't know. Again, I don't know all that stuff. Transplanted. I don't know if Transplanted just made a comment. I don't even want to put it. Here, I'll drop it on the screen. I don't know this. I don't know. I've heard it. I think somebody said it in that the message I got earlier about it.
That is a great one.
So is it true? I don't know.
Because I think it's a combination of both.
Okay. But see,
yes, I do believe it's a combination of both.
At the end of the day, then I lean on what I just said. Women don't like each other. They're their worst. They're their worst enemy. Forget what you want to say about the patriarchy. Women are women's worst enemies.
Well, the thing too with Transplanted comment is that as you probably know, a large swath of the WNBA are melanated rainbow
vegetarians
individuals. Yes. Okay. And part of their gripe also is and a lot of it's with Caitlyn because, of course, they're like she's a straight, white woman, which is why getting all of the stop with the words with the.
I'm trying to make you laugh.
I am.
I'm trying to make you laugh when I say it.
You making me lose track. You making me lose track of what I was saying. But because she's a straight white woman, and even to the extent Angel Reese, being a straight, pretty girl. Angel Reese has been getting a lot of banging around in the paint. Also, in a lot of the, pre-existing, what'd you call them? Vegetarians?
Vegetarians.
They're kind of somewhat, like you said, envious or jealous that not as many people were watching the product before these individuals came around.
There's a good reason why.
And here's the thing with that. People gravitate to things that they identify with. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's not why I feel like there's nothing wrong if extra eyes are coming because of Caitlin Clark, and if they happen to be middle America white eyes, because when we identify with the product, we gravitate to it. In '96, we weren't watching tennis. We weren't watching golf.
Nope.
Why did we start watching it? Because we identified with some characters / players on the screen. So there's nothing wrong with that happening now.
I agree with you, but I think it's myopic. I mentioned it to somebody earlier. They sent me a video from one of the Plus community was protesting, and I think it was in Philadelphia. The Plus community was protesting in Philadelphia, and they were impeded by people that are protesting something going on in 9 time zones away. And I just laughed. I'm like, this is the organized chaos. Like the desire is not for resolution. The desire is for chaos. And I do think this is something I was noodling. I want to hear what you think about it. We are under the impression that Marxists want to keep society as it is, but they just want to take over society. That is not the case. What they want to do, and you hear people say it all the time, they'd rather burn down society and rule over the ashes. They want to burn down society and start something different. So the idea, so when you say things like, oh, they're losing money over it, they're not really, because they don't really care about it. Their goal, desire is to burn it all down anyway and start something different in their own image. So this is something I was noodling around with. I haven't really fleshed it all the way out, and I don't want to go too far afield, but I was just something to think about. Like these people, so going back to the WNBA, they don't care that they're literally undercutting themselves because they want to do something different. So they're being encouraged. Oh my gosh, what's that?
Dude, you just see that happened another time. You did something and the balloons popped up earlier.
Yeah, so it's a reaction. But I thought you had to do both fingers.
I don't know. I never saw the balloons before. That was a good one.
Okay, well anyway, it's a reaction. I see it. I know where it is, but I thought it was you needed 2 fingers to do it. I mean, 2 hands to do it, but whatever. But yeah, they don't care that they're being inconsistent. They don't care that they're actually lessening. They're ruining their own possibilities when it's pretty clear, like a logical person can see you're going to ruin your own. So like your desire for however many years you've been practicing basketball to get to this place. So those young ladies are like 20 years old. So they've never not known the WNBA.
Exactly.
Okay, so they've never not known the WNBA to exist. And so they've always probably wanted to be a part of the WNBA. And you're literally going to ruin it for yourself and anybody else that would come after you. It's going to be a different product because you yourself can't see the forest for the trees or the wherever for the whatever, because you're myopic in your thinking, because you're carrying around, you're pursuing something that's going to ultimately ruin and damage you and the brand that you're striving to be.
And think about it.
I'm just here to watch it.
I'm just here now. We're talking like this time last year. I'm pretty sure we're not going to be on a podcast talking about the WNBA, but we are now. So take advantage.
There you go. And there's so much that could be done. And the bad thing is, I'm not saying that we have all the right answers, but I do think we have more right answers than wrong, and we know it. And so many people have already said it. Lower the rim, move the 3-point line, and those two things right there would completely change the game. But it is what it is. So I appreciate it, man.
As
When
do
you
I,
going
sir.
When you going out of the country?
I'm actually Thursday, leaving Thursday.
Oh, like Thursday. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
when you
But
come
as I
back-
said, I hope my DWC package is here before I go. You know, I mean, I
love
got to
it.
represent that Dalton must be stopped in Wakanda while I'm in Costa Rica.
And if you're wondering what he's talking about, the new Dear World Christian merch store is hot. If you've noticed,
It's hot.
We have the Atlanta Must Be Stopped shirt right here, as well as there's a couple others that might have shown up.
Did they notice the wardrobe change? Did they even notice that you switched?
I don't
from
know
the
if they
purple to
noticed
the baby
it. I don't know
blue.
if
I'm
they
like, come on, man.
I don't know if they noticed
DW
it.
killing y'all over here.
Here, hold on. I gotta do another one. Hold on 1 second. Wait, how do I get this out of here? Let me get you.
Yeah, you can get rid of me.
I'm gonna get rid of you.
Yeah,
No,
you
I'm
get
gonna let
rid of
you.
me.
No, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna let you roll. Hold on 1 second. You got it. Run the show.
I'm ready to show you about the wardrobe it again. We about to wardrobe it again. Yo, and when we talking about running the show, the only kind of show I know how to run is talking to Shara. Because Shara, let me tell you something. Next to Jason, DWC, me being grateful to him, let me tell you something. Shar Joel, you number 2. You look at, he popped out with the grace and peace. Shara, I appreciate you, man. I'm not even gonna lie. I never understand how I see you in Dear Woke Christian rooms in the daytime, and then I go live at night and you say hello. I'm not even gonna lie, it makes my night/morning every time. I appreciate you so much. All right, I'm just running my mouth talking to
it's all
Shara.
good,
You
brother.
got
It's all
back.
Check out the Dear World Christian podcast merch store. Appreciate you so much. I got some fun stuff planned. Thank you so much, Transplanted Texan. I appreciate you. We got some fun stuff planned. I'm looking forward to
I like
sharing
that.
with y'all. But
Gotta coordinate. You color coordinated over there. I like that one. You see, I didn't get that color combo. I'm gonna have to get that. I like
this is my end of show shirt. This is what I'm wearing at the end of the show.
All right, grace and peace.
Grace and peace. That's my end of the show. We're not ending yet though. Not ending yet. But this is my end of the show shirt. But I did wonder. I said, did anybody notice that? I don't even think they noticed. Well, I told you. Didn't I tell you?
Yeah, I was like, I knew it was coming too.
Wow. Quentin, get out of here, man. Go get some sleep so you can do your midnight 1 o'clock in the morning show.
my great, hey, dog. Look. I'm Pluto. I'm Pluto. I'm a dwarf planet right now. I can't be in the orbit with you Jupiters and Saturns during the daytime. You know what I mean? So I gotta pick my orbit at midnight.
Well, we got room for you. Absolutely, man. We got room for you in the 9 planets. Absolutely. Hey, man, be good, man. Thank you so much, friend.
All right, appreciate you guys.
Take care, man. Grace and peace,
Later.
friend. All right, that was Quentin from Independent Mail. Shout out to Quentin. It's always good to have Quentin in the house. Always good. Thank you so much. All right. No, she is not, Susie. No, she is not. Sad to say, she is not. I would love Sybil's welcome to come on. I got the link down in the chat. Sybil can come on right now. I would love to talk to her about, Dear World Christian is a liar. Would love to hear about that. I'd love for it. I'm just dropping it one more time. I'd love to hear her thoughts and get some insight from her. That would help me out a whole lot. Pluto forever, Independent Mail said. Pluto forever. But no. Pluto is, when I was a child, Pluto was a planet. It got demoted and then it got promoted again and now is back on the intergalactic naughty list and is no longer demotion list. And it's a dwarf planet, I think is what it's known as. Now it's not a planet anymore. It is a satellite. I don't know. It's not a moon. I don't think it's a moon. Because the moon has to go around a particular body. I think it's going around. I think it's still traveling around the sun like all the rest of the 9 planets in rotation. But yeah, that's it. So it's a dwarf planet. Independent Mail says. Okay. See, we done went from UFC to politics to now intergalactic geometry. I mean, we're all over the place here, man. This channel, you come to this channel to get that good knowledge up in here. I mean, we're going to pretend like intergalactic geometry is a real word, but, hey, I appreciate y'all for real. For real. All right, let me see right here. Yep. Okay. Reclassified as a dwarf planet in 2006. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea why they keep, like, don't we have something better to do? I mean, really, truly, don't we have some other things that we need to be worried about than planet status and such of that nature? That just seems wild to me. But Q, I thank you so much as well for your very gracious and very kind super chat. She said as follows. She said, my cousin played for the WNBA in my hometown. I'd left and couldn't bring myself to watch it. That was that was soft and weak. Wow. Okay. Wait, your hometown? What was the name of the team? I'm not trying to be funny. What was the name of the team? Because I know you are from where? Yeah, I want to know what was the name of the team, Q? Thank you so much, Susie. Check out what we're doing over at Podium. Please follow us. Absolutely. What's going on, Womb to Tomb Apologetics? Thank you so much for stopping by. A fantastic channel focusing on keeping as many little people alive in the womb as possible. Check out what they're doing over there. I don't know what new projects you're working on, but I will definitely go check them out. And tell them Jason sent you. Some Dear World Christian sent you. All right, what do I got here? I realized that the marker jumped all the way up to the top. Clop till he dropped says Pluto identifies as a planet. I mean, there's no lie detected there. The Phoenix Mercury. Okay. Oh, that's right. You're from Phoenix. I forgot. Phoenix Mercury. Okay. Your cousin played for them. Wow. Okay. All right. Let me see what we got here. The Whitaker Talk Show is texting me. Why? Why are you texting me? What do you want? What do you want? The Whitaker Talk Show has gotten really good with driving, by the way. And I know she's gotten good because we have a lot of windy, twisty roads near my house. And she'll get in the car and drive, and I'll sit in the passenger seat. And I realize, like, I'm not even paying attention anymore. I'm not even paying attention. Usually, you're watching, you're giving advice. You almost reaching to grab the steering wheel. I'm like, I'm not even doing that anymore. I'm sitting there playing on my phone or talking to my daughter in the back seat. Like, man. So she's gotten much better, man. Shout out to President Firstborn. Looking forward to her, hopefully one day soon, being able to afford a bicycle. I'm looking forward to her. My girl. Oh, yeah, she's crushing it. So, but what's today? Today's Sunday. Friday, I said, you're driving me everywhere. Everywhere we got to go, you're driving. And she drove more than I did, which was amazing because we went a lot of places. No, I stopped doing that too. I just like, okay. No, she's gotten much better. The first couple of times, there was a lot of praying and calling on the Lord. But no, she's gotten much better. And I told her tomorrow she has a class to go to. I said, you driving to that, and you're gonna take me and your sister. We're gonna drop your sister off, and then I'm gonna drop you off, and then I'm gonna wait, and I'm gonna come back, and then you're gonna take us home, and you can go pick her up, all this stuff. Ooh-wee. Clop to your drop asks a great question. Okay. Thank you so much, Clop to your drop. Hold on one second. Okay. I am currently reading the book. It is called Day Trading Attention by Gary Vaynerchuk. And this is the dust sleeve, and here's the actual book right here. It's a big book, though. It's taking a lot longer to read than I care to. And there's a lot of notes in this book. And this is a fantastic book. If you're interested in getting more proficient in your understanding of social media, if you have like a podcast, you want to start a podcast, or even just you have a brick and mortar and you're trying to use social media as an outlet, I was very pleased with this book. I'm almost done. I got about 30, 40 pages left. I might stay up late tonight and read, but That's a great book. If you follow me on, where did that go? Hold on. If you follow me on Goodreads, I'll probably do a review of this as well, but hopefully you'll see some growth on my channel. How about that? That's what I hope you see. If you see some things change and some things improve, credit it to Gary V or the lead attorney. And by God's grace, I'm getting better. So hopefully that's it. But no, thank you so much for asking about that. Yeah, we're going to try to get her President Firstborn. As a father, it gave no benefit to joy then. It gave me, no benefit of joy to teach my daughter how to drive ride a bike and drive a car. There we go. Thank you so much. I taught her, she picked up on riding a bike very quick though. I have to admit, there was very little teaching with her on a bike. She hopped on a bike. I was very impressed. Like, cause she got a full-size bike as her first bike. And she got on it and there was some crashing, but it was not, Chief Executive Secondborn did not like bikes nearly as much. Trina picked up on it like a fish to water. It was crazy. I really remember I had to find a video of like her first time riding a bike. Like, wow, she jumped on the thing, just went to town. So now driving a car, there's a little bit more prayer and fasting needed in there, but no, that was it. Let me see. Hold on one sec. Great question about the book. Thank you so much. And I'll definitely, if you follow me on Goodreads, let me drop that. Here's all my different socials. If y'all want, I will do, I've done a video before kind of going over where else you can find me on Buy Me a Coffee and Twitter and dearworldchristian.com, all that kind of stuff. All those links are right here. If you're on Gab, I'm on Gab. I'm on Rumble, all those places. So as well as, here's Podiums as well. And there they are as well. So if you want to check them out, check out what I'm doing for Dear World Christian as well as on Podium Studios. I'm going to do my best to start doing a better job at them. But there, you can find me on all my socials there. I appreciate, I think there's only a few that are not on that, are not on the link in bio, but I mean, besides that, the sun is still on. What are you talking about? Y'all are wild. Okay. Yeah, so, my wife told me today at church, like, do you realize next April, Taylor will be able, Chief Executive Secondborn, will be able to get her permit? I said, really? What in the world? What in the world is that about? So that's going to be craziness. So, she's going to be able, but she doesn't want to learn. Like, she's not really that interested in it right now, so. I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. I wouldn't mind her wanting to learn, but it is what it is. Now, Klopp, I will admit, I am not a Twitter. I'm trying to get better at managing social media. There's a reason why there's such a job as a social media manager. Let me just tell you that right now. There's a reason why there's a job for that, because I'm not the best at it. So I'm trying my best, but I don't post that much on Twitter. But I'm there on Twitter. So like these videos go on Twitter, but I don't actually post a lot on Twitter. I do go by there and check out, see what kind of stuff, check the traps, so to speak. But that's okay. So I wanted to teach her how to drive a stick, but we have a lot of hills around here. And so I don't think it's the best. So I did not, because I was literally going to get me a little stick shift punch buggy just so she can learn how to drive a stick. But these hills over here, I'm like, yo, that's gonna be a mess. So I didn't do it, but I'm kind of thinking about it still, just so it'll be another skill to learn. So I'm trying to transplant it. I'm trying my best. What's going on, Nakia? Good to see you. Grace and peace to you, sister. Good to see you. My dad taught me how to drive a stick. Who taught me how to drive a stick? It wasn't my pops. It was not my dad. I think I learned by hook or crook, because my hometown was not extremely, it just had a lot of flat land. So it was very easy to learn. Like where I live now, there's just a lot of hills, and you're stopping on a lot of hills. You're accelerating out of a stop from hills and stuff like that. And I just feel like that would just be a recipe for disaster. If nothing else, to burn out a clutch. So that's the only reason I haven't done it. So I'm hoping that who knows? Maybe who knows? Maybe if she ends up graduating from getting a license to drive a bicycle, she gets a car. Maybe it'll be a stick shift just to give her a little bit of skill set there. Oh my gosh. Why did you do this, Nakia? Oh my gosh. Okay, let's go see real quick. Because I did get a notification from Woke Preacher Clips. So I was wondering what that was. Oh no. Oh, I can't stand us. Why are we so predictable? That's the thing I just don't get. All right, let me see real quick. Oh my gosh. Why are we so predictable, man? Like, don't be that predictable. All right, let's see what we got here. Is this today? Let me see. And if you're wondering what I'm looking for this link from good old Woke Preacher Clip. Oh, I see it right here. Oh my gosh. Oh no, I'm sorry. This is something else. All right, here it is. There we go. Oh, it's 4.5 minutes long. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's do it. All right. Okay. Y'all, this is Nakia's fault. If you don't mind, if you could, can you please hit the like button if you like this type of content? I got, looks like 62 of y'all watching this. I do appreciate y'all. And also just type Nakia in the chat because this is all her fault. She keeps sending me this stuff and just type Nakia's name because this is her fault. The reason we're doing this is because of Nakia. And then she actually sent me the link too. Y'all, she's unrepentant. Y'all type Nakia's name in the chat. This is her fault. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so sick of these people. I'm so tired of these folk. Just stop calling yourself a church. Just stop it. Just in case you're wondering, this is not a church. This is not a church. If they were out here praising God for Trump, I would say it's not a church. This is not a church at all. Okay. Just going to say that emphatically. My name is Jason, dearwokesy@gmail.com. If you have a question, comment, concern, or you're angry, upset about what I'm just saying, this is the industrial church complex in full tilt. All right. 4.5 minutes, Nakia? For real? For real? What's wrong with you? Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta pray. You gotta be kidding me. I hate this stuff. This is because I know it's gonna be foolishness. I know it's gonna be ridiculous. Here, let's just go. Let's just do it. Come on, rip the Band-Aid off. Let's go.
Now I just have 2 words to say now, sisters and brothers. 2 words to say. That's it. Are you ready for those words?
Jesus Christ. Repent.
Alvin Bragg.
Come on, let's give it up for our brother.
Can you imagine if there was a church of less melanated people? Look at that crowd. Look at that crowd. There is not one solitary. There might be one. I think there might be one right there. They got that old potato cam too. They got that 2K camera right there as well. But can you imagine if this was a white church and they were saying Donald Trump? Or can you imagine that? But this is supposed to be a church and they would allege that they're a Church of Jesus Christ. See, this is going to make me go off on a tangent. Let's just let it go. Let's just go, Jason. Just let it go.
Alvin Bragg is a righteous and humble brother.
I want to go on note real quick. I know I said I'm going to stop. You know what? I don't even care. Y'all can email management, tell me I talk too much. I don't even care. If you write me and email me in management that I'm talking too much, or you comment too much that I'm talking too much about this, please do me a favor and dislike this video and just go ahead and kick rocks, because I'm going to say some stuff. Let me just go ahead and get this off my chest. Shout out to my pastor, Joel, because today Joel preached a wonderful sermon, and he did not at one time mention Donald Trump. He preached a fantastic sermon last week. He actually preached twice last week, and never once did he mention Donald Trump. You know what? I'm going to go on a limb and say that short of him praying for all our leaders during our pastoral prayer, my pastor very rarely ever mentions politics. You would not know if I dropped a sermon that my pastors preach, you wouldn't know when it was. You wouldn't know if it was from today or if it was from 2 years ago. You know why? Because this type of stuff is not, and I'm talking about the whole sermon, the entire worship service. This stuff is not supposed to be done in Christ's church. I know this man has a fancy, some kind of covering on, looks like a robe of some sort. He has a doctor's robe on, by the way. I hope he's a doctorate. But this is not supposed to be happening in Christ's church. So if this happens at your Sunday gathering location, I'm just going to give you a newsflash. This is going to hurt a lot. You're not at a church. You're at a political rally. You're at a taxpayer 501c3 political rally. You're not in a church. I'm just going to say that. Catch me outside, dearwokec@gmail.com. You got any questions, comments? I'll meet you in the front yard. I'll meet you in the backyard. I'll meet you over at the Quick Trip. I'll meet you at the Publix. We can fight, but you're going to still be wrong. Let's get done with this, Jason. Come on. How is this a thing? Why are we so dumb as black people? Why are we as a highly melanated people so quick to be duped by this? Now, I'm going to say something else ridiculous. I realize this camera on the pastor is actually really clean, by the way. That's actually a good camera. The other camera looked like it was like a potato cam. But the camera on the pastor is zero dialed in. Okay, good on y'all. That's what's up. But you know what? That's cool, because that's what you're a social club. So you're not a church. I'm gonna say that. I feel perfectly fine. I will book, chapter, verse, and context that thing and explain exactly why I say that. This is the industrial church complex. This is why people make excuses for why they hate God. They hate God to start with, and they use you fools as a reason why. Okay, let's go. Why did you do this, Nakia? It's your fault.
And I want you to show his beloved wife some love as well. Please encourage her.
She's been by his side every step of the way. And we love you. You're wonderful.
One of the things Brother Alvin said was, the most heartfelt and compelling aspect of the work that he does was this week to receive text messages from his students, his Sunday school students, who were so inspired and enriched by him. And it made me think of something that happened in May of 1954. 70 years ago, we celebrated what? Brown versus the Board of Education. Now listen, sisters and brothers. Thurgood Marshall would not be where he was without the work of Charles Hamilton Houston. But you know, for many years, Thurgood Marshall was a member and steward of the St. Philip's Episcopal Church right on 134th Street. And interestingly enough, he would work with young people while he was a member of St. Philip's. And he told them a story, the young people at St. Philip's. He said, "Why are you in church the Sunday after Brown versus the board?" He said, "Well, the night that it happened, we all gathered at the Legal Defense Fund, and there was a big party, and I was the first to leave. And everybody was walking around saying, 'Brother Thurgood, why are you leaving so early?' We just won." He said, "Yeah, we won this, but the real work just begins." And so the only thing I can liken this moment to now is some 50 years from now, these young people who have been taught and inspired and loved by Alvin Bragg will have that unique opportunity to say with conviction that I was inspired by one of the Thurgood Marshalls of my day. And so, Brother Alvin, we salute you. We love you. And we know that God will be with you and your family. We pray always for your protection and your peace. And we know from wherever those great ancestors rest, Thurgood Marshall, Constance Baker Motley, they all are singing your praises, dear brother, and cheering you on, you and your wife and family. We love you. Let's celebrate him again.
I'm speechless. I'm totally speechless. Yeah, I don't. Somebody asked, like, where's the gospel? I'm kind of interested. All right, let's do this. If somebody sends me the sermon, I'll do a sermon review on this, or at least look at it, because I'm pretty sure it's probably a fool. If you literally are campaigning in service, and I'm here to tell you, this is just as bad as the other day when Fonnie Willis was at Jackson Memorial, okay? And we were talking about how bad that was. This is just as bad. There's nothing right about it. There's nothing right about it at all. I'm here to say it. DearWokesy@gmail.com. Email management if you have a question, comment, or concern. This is not what should be happening in Christ Church, period, end of day. Catch me outside if you have a problem with it. So, no, I'm not. I take that back. I'm not going to do a sermon review of that, because it's going to probably cause me to probably short circuit or something, because I'm pretty sure it's dumb. I'm 100% certain it's a fool. So, no, I'm not going to do it. So don't even email it to me. And if you have a problem with what I just said, go jump in the lake. But yeah, this is bad. There's no other way around it. I'm sorry. If this is what you all believe Christ Church is about, then okay, that's what you believe. I'm gonna tell you right now, nothing supports that. There's nothing in Scripture that supports what we just saw. No, y'all don't want another rant. I'm sorry. I'm not. I'm gassed up for a rant. Trust me. I can do a rant. I can wake up in the morning and rant. The problem is, it's just foolishness. Like, I don't even think these people even care that what they're saying is vacuous and absent of Christ. Because Alvin Bragg needs the gospel just as much as Jason Whitaker needs the gospel. Alvin Bragg needs the gospel Joe Biden needs the gospel just as much as Donald Trump needs the gospel. Because at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, when it's all said and done, it will not matter. This foolishness, this case, whether it be right or wrong, is not the issue. The issue is, what did you do with Christ? And please understand, if you stand before Christ and say, well, I convicted Donald Trump of 34 charges of felonies in New York State or New York City, please understand that. Please do not try that. Please don't believe that. So that kind of stuff like that is just, man, it's just sad. It's unfortunate, because I'm feeling comfortable those people probably are not going to did not get the gospel today. They did not get the gospel. I feel comfortable in saying that they did not get the gospel. Sure, I could be wrong. And if you find I'm wrong, if you check out their sermon and it's gospel centric and it's all, it's full on board Christ and him crucified, send it to me. But if it's just foolishness, I ain't got no time for it because I already knew it was foolishness. Because that's ultimately the problem. That's why we've gotten to this point that people look to Biden, they look to Trump, they look to their city capital, their state capital, or capital of the United States, or even the UN for salvation, when that's not the case at all. Salvation does not exist in man. So when somebody stands in the sacred box on a Sunday and touts and gives platitudes and accolades to a politician, good, bad, or indifferent, that there's a problem there. Because I'm willing to guarantee you, if we looked back at sermons before, I'm sure he's done this before. He's probably even done with, I'm sure he's done with Ketanji Brown. I'm sure he's done with Fonnie Willis. I'm positive of it without even knowing, because that's what they do. So what about the poor Sunday school students? Yeah, they're completely deficient. Yeah, I'm just gonna move on, y'all. I'm sorry. That's just, it's dumb. And when you consider what Christ has done in taking those who once at one time hated him and translating them to people who now love and adore him, and now will experience his face in peace. Not for anything that they've done, not because they're so perfect, righteous, or just, but because of his great love toward us. How dare you belittle that to Alvin Bragg bringing up getting Trump convicted? How dare you put that on the same level? How dare you even put that in the same solar system? It should be the dwarf planet Pluto floating out there. I mean, it should not be anywhere near the beautiful gospel of Jesus Christ. But, this is what you do. This is what you do. And then you wonder why people treat the gospel like it's nothing. Like it's not that important. No, it's whatever. Because dummies like this guy, did you call that guy a dummy? I sure did. Dummies like this dude sit there and put the gospel on the same plane as some trumped up, pun intended, case out of New York. That's sad. And then those people sitting there clapping like something was done right. I'm just saying. I ain't picking on Pluto. I'm just saying, like, put the Alvin Bragg New York case out there with the dwarf planet. Keep the sun, the SON sun, where it needs to be. That's all. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I know y'all. I know, make Pluto a planet again team is out here. Make Pluto great again. I got y'all. I'm here to help. Look, we're going to get a shirt called Make Pluto Great Again. We'll add it to the Dear Woke Christian store. Right after I sell 50 of them, Atlanta must be stopped, or the Dalton must be stopped shirt. As soon as I hit 50, we'll Make Pluto a Planet Again shirt. I don't even think this qualifies as a rant. I don't know, because trust me, I know what a rant is. I'll give you a mini rant. I'll give you that for sure. I'll give you a mini rant. I mean, clapping like seals, like they did something, and nothing has happened. Not a thing. Nothing has happened. Nothing. Because at the end of the day, I think the whole case is going to be thrown out. It's going to be caught up on appeal, and when the smoke clears, they're gonna throw the whole thing out. The conviction will be waived, and the silly people on the left are going to continue to call him a convicted felon, because that's all they wanted. That's all they wanted was the term convicted felon. That's it. They don't want anything else. Make Pluto a planet again. Make Pluto a planet. Yes. Papa. There you go. That's it. But that's it. And now they got what they wanted. So even if it went away today, it wouldn't matter. Whoopi Goldberg going to still say it. CNN is still going to say it. The dumb people are going to still say it. They'll still say it here at this church because they don't care. They just wanted to be able to say that. But Nakia, I think we all know there's zero evidence to that fact. The righteousness is that you are fighting for a racial cause. That's it. You're making, because again, he wouldn't be righteous if it was Tyrone Trump. It wouldn't be a righteous cause. But because he's going against 45, that's it. That's all that matters to him. That's all that matters. Nothing else, nothing less. Nothing less, nothing more. That's all right? Yeah, that sounds right. I think so. I like it. Nothing more, nothing less. But yeah, I'm gonna drop that link in here. If y'all want to come on, if anybody wants to jump in, come on by and holler at your boy. Otherwise, give y'all a few more minutes, and then I'm gonna go finish reading my day trading attention book and get close. Man, it's a great book, but he has a lot of notes. So you're gonna be using your smartphone a lot because he has all these QR codes and wants you to go look at this site and look at this page and look at this account. And he has a lot of examples in there. So it's really good though. I have to look a little bit further for that book, chapter, verse, and context regarding relating racial justice. I'm still looking for it. I've yet to find it. I'd love for it. And it's interesting. You hear a lot of people talk about it. But when you ask them to explain it and ask them for it in context, you very rarely get anything that rhymes with what the scriptures actually teach. You don't see it because it's not there. They're making it up. That's it. They're just making it up. And they don't want to admit that. All right. I think I got all my good people. Susan said, don't hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. I think I got all my good people comments, all the good comments. I thank y'all so much for that. Thank y'all, everyone that has supported the channel. Thank you again for just taking the time to hang out with me, even tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with me when I do my live streams in the middle of the week and whatnot. All that kind of good jazz like that. These churches love their idolatry. Come on. That's it right there. That is it. That is it. And so I really do appreciate y'all. Y'all, it means a lot to me that y'all find value in this. As I told y'all before, you know, doing this is a lot of fun for me, but knowing that you all are getting something from it is just taking it up to the next level. Knowing that you all find value in my perspective as a Christian male perspective takes it up another level. So I appreciate each one of y'all for not only hanging out with me, but for taking the time to comment, to come to the live chat, comment down in the comment section, all that kind of good jazz like that. Let me see what we have here. Karen says as follows: one of our members is a state senator and he never stumps at church, and the pastor doesn't promote any political officials or candidates. However, he does host community events at our church. You know what? I got zero problem with that, because a lot of times churches will rent out, you know, their fellowship halls or their activity centers. You know what? I've heard far worse than that. So if the worst thing is that your member, state senator, if your state senator is having a coffee and coffee with the senator in the fellowship hall or the activity center, if that's the worst thing popping, you know what, then let that be the case. But if he was in the box promoting or being promoted from the box, from the sacred box, I think that would be a lap too far. So if that's the worst thing that y'all got, Karen, then I salute y'all and your pastor and your church leadership, because that's probably, trust me, that's night and day better than this foolishness that we just saw here, and we've seen countless other examples thereof. I'm pretty sure Woke Preacher Clip is probably going to come up with far more than that one example. I'm sure there's going to be more. So, but at the end of the day, if that's the worst thing popping, then I'm okay with that. Yeah, I agree with Susie. It's not during the reunion. Again, because people complain all the time that churches are open on Sunday and they're not open Monday through Saturday. Now, if they're open, it's just like an activity center, or again, as long as it's not a sanctuary, I'm probably going to be okay with that. If it's in the fellowship hall or the dining hall or the gym or whatever like that, a lot of churches have large facilities like that. And you know what? I think it's probably okay. In my mind, I would love to hear the argument against it. How about that? Okay, let's see. Transplanted Texan says, Dear Will Christian, I would disagree with the community events at the congregation. I would rather community events be held at community centers. Okay. And that's fine. The only thing is though, if I'm understanding Karen correctly, this is off time. So this would be like, Monday or Tuesday. Would you be okay if again, let's say that your church has a very nice rec center and they also don't charge a whole lot. And so you're trying to get a grassroots off the ground running and you can't afford the $500 rental fee for the Kiwanis Club down the street, but the church has a $50 rental to use it. Would you be okay with that? I'm not trying to pick fights. I'm just literally, because we actually have the same problem. People have asked to use Smyrna Press for things like that, and we've shot them down and whatnot like that, because we don't agree with maybe what they're teaching or the music they're going to be playing or whatever like that. So, but we recognize that our facility is appropriate. A lot of people do enjoy using it and want to use it rather because of those kind of benefits that it brings. So that's see. My congregation, my congregation will have a rec center for this reason. Okay. Oh, and that's fine. No problem, no issue, no complaint. So we for example, like just your fellowship hall. We have an industrial kitchen and a fellowship hall because we have a school. So we have a very nice facility. People like to ask, can they use it? Because it's, pretty nice size. The kitchen is very readily available, easy to use, so on and so forth. And people have asked, multiple people have asked from all over different stripes and flavors have asked, can they use our facility for a reception or do a recital or doing this, that, and the third? Can we use it? And, we charge a fee if they're members of the church, then, like for wedding receptions or celebrations of life and stuff like that. But then we've had people who are not members that have asked as well. And we've looked at it and said no, or we looked at it and said maybe so. So I actually don't think we've had any, as long as I've been a deacon, I don't think we've had any politicians asking, just, making a point. Yeah, I don't think we've ever had any politicians, as far as I remember, but we've had other people as well. All right, let's see. We do not view the building as holy during off hours, but it was built for that purpose, to gather, to preach and teach the gospel. So we keep it like that for that use. There we go. No problem. And please understand, I'm not in disagreement. If your church was like, hey, for example, so I agree with you. Your church's decision and the elders and deacons of your church, the decision is not, I'm not making issue with it. I'm only pointing out if they did use it for something else, or like, for example, a non-member wanted to use your church for a funeral and such like that, and say, hey, he was a member, 30 years ago, but he's moved away. He's not technically a member of this church at all, but he's going to be buried here in town because he's born here. We would like to use your facility for a funeral. I don't see any problem with that. I mean, those are just small nuances. There are usually things that benefit our youth and seniors, including our members, etc., on a Saturday or another weekday. Okay, there we go, Karen. And again, I don't, if your church does rent out their facility, because again, a lot of the time churches have, well, here, let me use in my example here. A lot of the time churches have very nice edifices and very nice properties that, like my church has a soccer field, and we've rented out our soccer field to youth soccer leagues and a very vibrant Hispanic soccer club wanted to use our facility. Yeah, I mean, use our land, and we've let them use it. They took good care of it. They cut the grass. They did all kinds of stuff. It was great. And so the little Pee Wee League uses it now, and that's fine. They don't use our facility, like the actual property, for anything. So, and that works fine. I have no problem with that. And I green lighted that as a deacon. Sure. Here's another use. There you go. My in-laws' church rents their gym to a homeschool group. Those are just some different instances. Again, I don't think any of us are in disagreement, but I think politicians, I think we all can agree, politicians in the sanctuary, politicking, and I mean, campaigning from the pulpit or passing out flyers in the sanctuary or, hi, my name is John, please vote for me. Those are all wrong. I think once we leave out of the sanctuary in the parking lot, or like, would it be okay for a politician to sponsor your third Sunday potluck? I think that's up to the congregation to decide. That would be me. Yeah, we've done this as well. We've done this. Now we've done a crisis pregnancy center. We've done a lot to support them. Absolutely. So I just think there's definitely some room. I don't think it needs to be hard and fast, etched in stone. And I don't think Transplanted Texan is saying that. And I definitely don't think Karen is saying that they're just loosey-goosey. I think it's just, hey, there's going to be instances where we might move in a different direction or whatever like that. And I think that's perfectly fine. Or we might do something here that we might not have done last year. And I think that's perfectly fine. As long as the congregation is fine with it, my opinion is completely invalid. So as long as y'all are good with it, see if I get the little things to go off. It's not moving. Okay, well, whatever. The little reaction is supposed to go off, but I don't know why it didn't go off. Here, I'm going to cheat. All right, I'm trying again. All right, so as long as y'all are good with it, that's all that matters, and that's all that matters to me. There you go. All right, let's see. What's going on, old fam? Good to see you. There definitely needs to be discernment on the matter. You can't just let whoever use your building. Yeah, and we're making, we're giving a lot of nuance. So, for example, I would not expect you to allow the local atheist soccer club. Well, I'm sorry, we would not allow the local atheist soccer club to use our facility, our property. We just wouldn't do that. We're not going to put you in a position of that nature, and we're not going to, it's okay. But on the same note, we are a little Pee-wee soccer league. I don't think they have a profession of faith, but they're just a little kids soccer league that we're allowing. I think we've also let a Pee-wee T-ball league, little T-ball league, use the soccer field, because it also has a baseball drawing out there as well. So I think we've let both of them use it, but I mean, it is what it is. Again. Yeah, but see, that's the point. I think, like, none of us are agreeing with Alvin Bragg, though, being promoted from the pulpit. Like, that's a political statement. That was a political stance that pastor, that speaker was making. So that's a whole different game than anything than what we're talking about. All right. So all my churches have house things like AAs or scouts, etc. Never anything that's directly contradicted church beliefs. Okay. Yeah, I don't, I'm not here to, I think we all agreed that the Alvin Bragg thing was wrong. So now it's just like trying to get into the more weeds and nuances, if you will. But again, I think if is on your congregation or your leadership, rather, if they decided to do that. No Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. No Apex. They're not going to be utilizing the soccer field. No, they will not be doing that. But I think I think this is a good conversation, of course. And I think the more we dig into it and kind of understand what it is that we want, or rather what we believe should be the proper usage of Christ Church, the facility, the building, the edifice that your congregation gathers in, I think that's what, I think that's ultimately what we need. Well, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it, person. Person said his shirt came in. Thank you so much for picking one up. Thank you. All right. What we got here? Yeah, Susie speaks on behalf of all of us. No, absolutely not. All right. Let me see. I'm looking at the reactions working. I don't know why this thing is like 6 minutes behind almost, it feels like. No, super dope conversation, y'all. I do appreciate you. So this week, we got a lot going on this week. So Taylor wants to record on Tuesday from the studio. So I'm going to probably do a live stream Tuesday. Let me see what time she wanted to. So Chief Executive Second Born wants to run the desk on Tuesday. So I said, that's fine, Taylor, no problem. And I think her sister has a class. Okay, yeah, we might be able to make that work. So I will keep you all abreast. I will be I'll keep loading up live streams. I want to do one tomorrow as well. Maybe we will talk a little bit more about the WNBA and some other shenanigans that are going on. But I tell you right now, man, the month of May was bananas. So I'm hoping that the month of June will keep that trend alive. Keep that trend alive. Thank you so much, Transplanted Texan. You're a fantastic mod, and I really do appreciate you. I appreciate all of my mods. Thank you, Susie. Thank you, Shara. Thank you, Q. Matter of fact, if y'all don't mind, just drop mods in the chat. Just let them all know, because they're all fantastic. I apologize if I missed anybody's name. I'm just scanning through, make sure I didn't miss anybody's name. Transplanted Texan, we know. Susie Q, absolutely. Shara and Nakia, thank y'all so very much. Every last one of you. Independent Male, thank you very much. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you so much for dropping, not only dropping links in there, all that kind of stuff like that. It means a lot. So please, if y'all could, just let them know we appreciate them. Drop mods in the chat. Let's just flood the chat with some mods and just say thank you so much. Give them their flowers, as Quentin said. You know what? I'm gonna drop some flowers in there. Here, I'm gonna do that right now. I think I am. Maybe I won't. Let's try this way. Okay. All right, let's see. Get some celebrations going on up in this piece. There we go. That's how we feel about the mods. That's how we feel about the mods. We got love for the mods. Drop some celebrations for them. I love it. Thank y'all so much to the moderators. I really do appreciate y'all. If I didn't say your name, just charge it to my head, not my heart. Please don't think I missed you for any reason. We even bringing raves back, man. We bringing the raves back for the mods. There we go. They don't have a flower one. They got a celebration one though. There we go. We celebrating the mods. Thank you so much. But so tomorrow is Monday. I'm hoping to do a live probably around 6, 7 o'clock tomorrow, and the same thing on Sunday. I got to see what Chief Executive Second Born wanted to do, and we have a lot of cool stuff going on. So if you don't mind, follow me on Dear World Christian Podcast as well as Podium Studios. I really would appreciate it, because that's going to be a great way for you to see some of the new things we're going to be doing. I'm really trying to iron out. I will be doing a members only Q&A, because I want to hear some more things about how I can iron out some of the content and give you all just more value. My desire, my goal is to keep the value train increasing, if you will. Keep adding good things that you all enjoy and like on this channel. So I do want to hear what you think. So feel free. If you want to shoot me an email, you got some ideas, some things that could add value, please let me know. And when I say add value to everybody here, that everybody would enjoy, everybody would get something out of, and it's such of that nature. So I really do appreciate that. And we'll just stay in touch. We'll just keep rocking and rolling. I'm sure there's going to be more foolishness going on with the Fani Willis case here in Georgia. Now that the whole Trump trial has gone the direction that it has, I got this feeling, I got this real sneaky suspicion that the Fani Willis, the election interference case, is going to probably spring a leak and start taking on water. I think all they wanted was conviction. I'm sorry, a convicted felon title. That's all they wanted, was that moniker. They got that moniker on Thursday. We'll see. If new things come up, because remember, the Fani Willis case is in appeals. So it's not even going to even see the light of day until well past election day, November. So I'm just wondering, is it going to start losing steam? Remember, she said the train is rolling. The train is coming. I just got this feeling. I got a feeling. So, but I would love to hear what y'all think about it. So please, follow along. And I think it's going to be great, man. We're going to have it's going to be interesting. Let's just say it like that. It's going to be interesting. So let's do this real quick, everybody. Thank you again for hanging out with me tonight. Thank you so much for the very gracious super chats. Thank you for all of the wonderful conversation going on in here. It was better than 70, 80 people watching at one point. I really do appreciate it. And feel free, shoot me an email if you got some ideas or some things that you think I should talk about. I'm open to those. I really do appreciate it. Marshall has sent me some great TikToks again. Marshall the Plug has sent me some great TikToks. So I'm looking forward to addressing some of those as well. But I appreciate y'all. And thank you so much for watching not only this live stream, but for watching the content that we've been putting out on Dear World Christian. It means a lot to me. So I really do appreciate y'all so much. And real quick, all right, just checking real quick. I think that's everything. Everybody, I really do appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Moderators, you all rock. You rock this. You're amazing. Thank you so much. But I'm looking forward to doing this again real soon. If you didn't hit that like button on your way out the door, make sure you tip your waiters. Let them know that you appreciate them. Give them a salute and say grace and peace. And until next time, everybody, by God's grace, we'll do it again. Grace and peace. Take care.